Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. ChickyandPete's.com for details. Chicky and Pete's is a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
The opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Welcome to 2026 Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from the 97.3 ESPN Studios. 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. And of course, as always, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. I am joined by Alex Berardis in the studio. Alex, how was your New Year's?
I had a great New Year's. You know who the first person was to text me when the ball hit?
Who's that?
You, Josh Hennig.
Was I really?
All right, my parents. But I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt there. You were in the top three. Yeah, Josh was in the top three. It was a great night. Let's have another great year. Last year, 2025, big year for me. Got started here on the radio. Let's have another big one. I'm gonna be in the studio every Saturday.
I like those positive vibes.
You got to be positive. I had a rough betting college football this weekend, so I'm trying to be upbeat. Other than that,
well, I will say this. You know, for those who don't know, you know, it wasn't just Alex's first year with us here at 97.3 ESPN, but Alex has also stepped up in a big way, basically coming in and doing anything and everything asked of him, even things he didn't know how to do, he learned how to do. So it's definitely a credit to you, and I like the positive vibes you're bringing into the new year. So let's keep the positive vibes going, or at least as long as we can until something makes me mad at 609-403-0973. Here's the slate for today's show. So, you know, today obviously is about the new year. It's also about the Eagles. So we're going to get into NFL Week 18, the Eagles. The most of the playoff field is set. There are two teams that have a chance at the number one seed. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. So one of our questions today is, who would you rather have the one seed? Because last year, the Eagles were the 2 seed. Don't forget about that. The Eagles were fortunate that styles make fights, and Washington took out both Tampa and Detroit on the way to the NFC Championship game. That's why Philadelphia hosted the NFC Championship game last year. So with that being in mind, who would you rather be the one seed? That's one of our questions today at 609-403-0973. Coming up on the show, we will also get into the state of the Flyers and the Sixers to start 2026. Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer, he will join us coming up at 2:25 today. Plus, Haley Taylor-Simon, she is back. She will join us from 1 to 3 p.m. today. She'll be joining us remotely if you're watching on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. And then on top of all of that, we also got Andy McNamara coming up at 12:25 today. But Alex, I want to start with the Eagles, not just because they're the biggest story in Philadelphia for ages on end, but because of the fact that I think there's so much to get into with this team, and I understand part of the conversation has to do with the reality that they, as I wrote about at 973ESPN.com, which, listen, I understand a lot of people, the holidays and everything that's going on, so maybe people didn't see my article, but I detailed in my article part of the reason why the Eagles are doing this, Alex. Nick Sirianni made a very, very, very candid comment yesterday to the media where he said that they want to control what they can control. They can't control what the Bears do. but they can control what they do. And as far as Sirianni is concerned, and I don't think it's a bad argument, they have had a long year, and they could use a physical reset and a mental reset for the guys going into the postseason. I don't think it's a coincidence that the 3 times in the last 10 years the Philadelphia Eagles have made a deep postseason run to the Super Bowl, they did not play their players the final game of the season. I don't think it's a coincidence. And I understand, and I'm one of them. I think getting the 2 seed would be better than the 3 seed. I am totally one of those people. But I also got to be a realist. Being a realist, Alex, means that if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you cannot ignore the reality that you have an offensive line that is not healthy. You have wide receivers who have been dropping passes. You have a quarterback who apparently from play to play is a different player in terms of what he's seeing on the field. You have a first-year offensive coordinator. It's obvious this offense, needs a Kit Kat bar. They need a break, right? So at some point, I understand the idea of the frustrations of Philadelphia sports, whereas the offense played like horse manure in the second half of that Bills game. They were straight garbage, okay? The reads by Hurts were bad. The play calling was trash. The block, they had guys getting blown off the line of scrimmage. I mean, dudes who are smaller than our offensive linemen roughing up our dudes. The point of attack was horrible. And again, the defense saved the Eagles again this year for a win. So yes, it might be that instead of getting reps, maybe they just need to sit down and sit with themselves and watch somebody else play for them to be ready for the postseason. Because at this point, I got to give Sirianni credit, Alex. He's right. They can't control what the Bears do. Because the Bears have come out and said this week, I don't know if you saw it, Ben Johnson, the Bears head coach, he said they are treating this like a playoff game. They want that 2 seed. They are embarrassed by the loss they had the week before to the 49ers. And they are looking at the Lions game as a playoff game. And don't think the Lions can come in and roll over. Mr. Biting Kneecaps, Dan Campbell, is going to go to Chicago and put up a fight. The Lions have said they're starting anyone who's healthy. It's basically what they said.
Yeah, they got nothing to lose. But so both games are Eagles versus Commanders, Bears versus Packers. No, Bears versus Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Are at 425, correct?
Yes.
What are you surprised? I mean, I guess they wouldn't come out and say it, but maybe scoreboard watch a little bit, start the starters at first, and if, like, I don't know, the Bears start getting trounced or something like that, then you're like, all right, guys, we put up our points. Let's put the defense or let's put the second string guys in, or are you just fine just saying, hey, doesn't matter whether we play the Packers, the Rams, let's just get the guys healthy and going for next week?
Look, I think that it's very obvious that as far as the Eagles are concerned, the whole Bears situation is confounding because that's a team that they themselves could rest their guys, but they're not. So I'm not going to act like it's just some no big deal that they aren't resting their guys. But I do think there is something to be said for the fact that if you are the Eagles, Alex, you got to focus on, to use the term by Jalen Hurts, keeping the main thing the main thing. You can't care what the fans think. You can't care what the haters in the media think. You got to do what's best for the team. And while, listen, I would love for them personally to go out there and basically have the offense play the first half and just run like a, basically a version of what we saw some of these college football teams run this week with the no-huddle offenses and just run up and down the field till they're all exhausted and then go sit on the bench for the rest of the game. I mean, frankly, I would like to see A.J. Brown play tomorrow and just make him play every snap just to run him down and, but then he might get hurt and then, people will get mad about that. But I digress. It is the idea, though, that there is a scenario where you can win this game with your backups and that the Bears lose to the Lions and you get the 2 seed anyway. I just think that the NFL, the reason why they're scheduling these teams at the same time is because the league knows. The league knows that this was the scenario coming. The league knew the Eagles have a history of resting their guys. The league knew that they wanted to keep the teams that are most affected by each other in the same windows. And the NFL told you when they scheduled the games today, which you would hear on 97.3 ESPN coming up, coverage begins at 4 p.m., they knew that the Bucs and Panthers, and then what's the night game?
49ers Seahawks.
49ers Seahawks.
Which I'm surprised that game is tonight. I thought that would have closed the weekend, but I guess they're going to say win and get in for the AFC North.
Win and get in. They typically do that with Sunday football. When there's a win and get in scenario, that's typically the Sunday night game. They did that a couple of years ago when it was the Lions and the Packers.
Yeah. I just kind of figured maybe I'm just discrediting the AFC North because I don't think either of those two teams, whether they get in, I think they're both first-round exits. I guess I just figured the better game was the NFC 1 seed.
Well, the better game is.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I guess stakes are bigger, whether it's just you're either in or you're not in.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the league loves the cap. You know, I think it's what they said. The stat I heard last night, now please forgive me, it was 3 o'clock in the morning when I heard this stat, but I believe that the Sunday night game is the 272nd game of the season. So they want the final game of the regular season to be everything on the line. And guess what? You got a lot of star power. You actually got more star power in the Sunday night game than the Saturday night game. Because Sunday night, you got Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Derrick Henry. I know DK Metcalf's not playing, but TJ Watt is back, right? TJ Watt's back. So you do have some star power. Whereas, listen, I think both the 49ers and Seahawks are dangerous teams, but let's be realistic. If you had to choose between watching Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy, who are you picking?
See, I'm such a hater on the AFC North. I'm going with the NFC West. Like I think we had this argument, maybe not argument, but this talk a few weeks ago. It might have been on air, it might have been off air, where I was just like, I just never understood this whole preseason Steelers were going to be this great team. I just never saw it, and now I don't think anybody saw how bad the Ravens have been. Now, yeah, Lamar's coming back this week, but this guy's made of glass, it seems like, this year. But yeah, I think either one of those teams in the AFC North, I'm just looking ahead. Their first-round exit. I look at the NFC West matchup. Both those teams could win the Super Bowl this year. So that's kind of how I look at it.
And that's part of the reason why my question on the text board at 609-403-0973 is, who would you rather be in the 1 seed? Because you can't guarantee the 1 seed is going to lose again this year, like the Lions did last year. And don't forget, the Lions had 14 guys on the injured list before that game even came around. So I don't know. Did you watch the Netflix quarterback show?
I know I forget if I finished it or not, but I know I watched a good part of it.
Because the one episode is about the Lions being on their bye week. And like there's a scene where it's like Jared Goff and his wife, I think it's Amon-Ra St. Brown and his wife, they're at dinner together.
Is this regular season or like the first round bye week?
The first round bye week.
Okay.
And they're basically talking about like, yo, we really needed this bye week. We are so like they even like talking to themselves like in front of the cameras, being like, dude, we are so injured. You know, like the way they were talking, you were like, man, these guys almost sound like they're defeated already. So to me, that's why I can't guarantee it's going to happen with the 49ers and the Seahawks, because the 49ers have won despite all of their injuries. Whereas last year, the Lions struggled to get the 1 seed with all their injuries. The Seahawks are a team that their defense is playing at a high level. And this the question is Sam Darnold going to put up or shut up, right?
I was going to say, it's an interesting spot for this game and who gets the 1 seed, because I feel like both teams have great pros and bad cons. Niners, potent offense. Brock Purdy can put up as many yards, as many points. George Kittle is probably going to come back. Is he in for this? Is he in for tonight? Because I know he missed last week.
Who's that?
George Kittle.
Kittle, last time I saw, was questionable. I haven't seen an update on him since yesterday.
But regardless of Kittle, Juwan Jennings, you got Christian McCaffrey. Like, they can score. Con for them, though, the injuries. Now they've played great all season long, dealing with those injuries. Bosa, Warner, like guys who are irreplaceable guys, it seems. But the 49ers have just kept winning and winning and winning.
By the way, to me, he won't win the award. I understand. It's a quarterback award because half the voters for the MVP award are imbeciles. But Christian McCaffrey should be the league MVP. That dude has carried that team. That team, without two of their three best wide receivers most of the year. George Kittle didn't play half the games. Brock Purdy didn't play half the games. Trent Williams didn't play half the games. And Christian McCaffrey is now only the third running back in NFL history to have a 1,000 season. 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing. He's only the third guy to do it.
Let Josh Hennig vote.
You're telling me that fill-in-the-blank quarterback is more valuable than that guy? I get it last year they didn't give it to Saquon because there has been a devaluation of the running back position in general. But Christian McCaffrey, to me, one-upped what Saquon did last year because he said, I'm not just going to run the ball, I'm going to catch the ball.
Is it now May? Because I know Stafford kind of faded a little bit there. He threw some interceptions. Is it now May's the favorite?
I think, I got to pull up the odds. But the last time I saw the odds, Drake May was the overwhelming favorite.
Okay. But as I was saying, like the pros and cons, like you said, Seattle, great defense. Their con, though, to me, I have zero faith in Sam Darnold. But also, a pro for them is that home field in Seattle is legit.
Can I say the other problem for Seattle is not just the quarterback. It's also the running game. Historically, they've been a good running team, and this year they have not been.
Which is weird because they have two
very good running backs. Yeah. Kenneth Walker III and Charbonnet. So it's like, they have the dudes. It's just what gives. And I don't think it's just the offensive line. I've watched enough Seahawks games to know that, their OC, Clint Kubiak is trying to run his dad's offense. For those who don't know, Clint is the son of Gary Kubiak, the Broncos coach that won the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning years ago. Kubiak comes from the Mike Shanahan tree, so they run that Mike Shanahan style of zone running attack. I don't know if Clint Kubiak is just like an idiot or like he doesn't know how to properly run the offense at times, but it's like there are sometimes they run the ball and they're just like running into a wall. I'm just like, oh, okay, that is not what I was expecting at all. By the way, I'm trying to get more information, but it looks like Kittle is going to play tonight.
I feel like even if he was like 50%, he was going to say, I got to be out there tonight.
So George Kittle told the media that he expects to play tonight, but they will be without Trent Williams tonight. So that's a big deal. Their left tackle. So congratulations, you get Kittle back, but you don't have your quarterback's blindside protected. Good luck, 49ers.
Players in the league have said he's just the best player in the league. Not even
Trent Williams?
Yeah, not even like lineman. Like he's just the best player in the league.
Yeah, he's a freak talent. He is, at his peak, he's a lot like what Jason Peters used to be in Philadelphia. Just this freakish athlete who can do everything is Trent Williams. And they're going to be without him tonight. But guess what? If they win this game tonight, I'm saying Kyle Shanahan's the coach of the year as well. Because you're now no Trent Williams tonight. You played most of the year without Purdy or Kittle or Ricky Pearsall. Brandon Ayuk has played a snap this year. How about that? No one expected that.
He's done in San Francisco. This guy is full crash out mode.
If you're the 49ers, you regretting trading Deebo?
I mean, right now, no. Like with the way, they're going to need another receiver because I like Pearsall. I don't think he's going to be a 1, though. Maybe they draft a guy this year. I don't know. But, right now, no. Like, you've been perfectly fine. Deebo was kind of missed a bit of the year, too. He was injured. I think they're fine without him. I don't think anybody could have foresaw what the whole Brandon Ayuk situation inevitably came to be. Which is like something that, you just can't take that into consideration. But You've been a big advocate for not wanting to play the 49ers for the past few weeks.
Yeah, because if you have to go to San Francisco, you're playing on their terms in their backyard. And I think Kyle Shanahan is just that great of a coach. I think I have more faith in Vic Fangio versus the Seahawks offense. I'm not saying Vic isn't great, but Kyle Shanahan's a different animal. That's all. It worries me because when the 49ers are healthy, that dude, Christian McCaffrey, that dude, George Kittle, that coach, Kyle Shanahan, it does worry me.
He's got to close out a game in a big-time situation, though. It's been the one thing he hasn't been able to do.
Yeah, but he has gotten them the 2 Super Bowl appearances. So he's not totally a loser. I see the text coming in. Paul from Millville, Al from Violin, 609-403-0973. That is the text board. He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up on the other side, we will talk with Andy McNamara. We'll give a full preview of all the biggest news and stories of NFL Week 18 coming up next. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City and streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles finish the 2025 regular season tomorrow afternoon, hosting their NFC East rivals, the Washington Commanders.
Johnson takes the snap. He's looking. He fires the football, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the team.
Pre-game coverage starts at 3 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 4:25. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage, learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Looking for your next ride? Come home to Bridgeton Auto Mall, your hometown dealership. Family owned and proudly serving South Jersey for over 50 years, we treat you like one of our own. Chevy, GMC, Cadillac, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, we've got them all. And every vehicle comes with hometown service you can trust. It's discount time, but hurry, these deals won't last. Visit us at 808 North Pearl Street in Bridgeton or call 856-451-0095. Si habla español. Bridgeton Auto Mall, where family drives with family.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Come join us for happy hour weekdays from 4 to 6. Enjoy half-price orders of Chicky's wings, delicious pizzas, scrumptious hot, cold, or fried shrimp, jumbo soft pretzel with a trio of tasty dips, plus $3 domestic bottles, $6 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. Come join our happy hour weekdays 4 to 6. Come taste and enjoy. Only at Chicky's and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice cold draft beer, world famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Who is right? You are an ox and a moron.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Hello? Get back in the room.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN, another edition of Hanging with Hennig, the first Hanging with Hennig in 2026. And as always, we go around the NFL with my guy, Andy McNamara. He is back for NFL Week 18, which is less about fantasy football and more about the big picture of the NFL. You would know that if you've been reading Andy's work at the Sporting News. Just follow him at AndyMC81 and at AndyMC Sports. He posts out all of his articles about the Browns and the NFL. Andy, how you doing today?
Doing good, buddy. Happy New Year. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. In fact, I know you did because we were chatting, but just for everybody, hope all the listeners did as well. And actually, too, I always say, Josh, it's never too early to start prepping for next fantasy football season. So I got up now at the Sporting News, my way too early fantasy quarterback rankings and running back rankings. The wide receivers and tight ends will be coming as well. So way too early, but hey, you know what? Never start, because they'll be changing. You know, you get the draft, trades, free agency, but never too early to just start laying things out a little bit.
No, it's not too early, but it definitely will change by the end of the end of March.
Yeah, for sure. Who knows it? I'll tell you this. The what's his name? Kawan Scott, or one of the running backs yesterday in the bowl game. Oh my gosh, just absolutely gorgeous. I was watching these bowl games, and you're just, my mind is just spinning. I'm like, ooh, that guy would be, where could he land? He could be an RB1. Right. Oh no, don't go to the, like last year it was like Ashton Jeanty, and then goes to the Raiders, and oh, the poor guy. Not his fault. He was right outside the top 12. He was like, I think 13. And I think that deserves an award based on the fact that he had guys in his face before he even touched the ball all year.
Right. Well, let's get into the NFL this weekend, because even though most of the playoff seeding is set, let's get into the games that do matter, because today on Saturday we have 2 games that absolutely positively matter, Andy. Yeah. And people can hear the games coming up here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Let's talk about the NFC South. Andy, I don't know about you, but I don't know what's more impressive. Is it the fact that the Bucs are going to potentially choke away the division, or that Carolina has hung in it to the end to play for the division?
Gosh. Boy, like, it's kind of like the AFC North. You're going to get a division winner, but you're not going to go anywhere, right? So this is like, whatever team wins this, that is your Super Bowl for this year. You're not going a step further than this game after this, okay? But yeah, what a collapse. Like, Josh, it doesn't seem that long ago. We were talking about Baker Mayfield MVP conversation, the Bucs looking good, and the Panthers, they're spunky. The Panthers could win the division? And I don't care how it looks or what the record is. You win a division from that Panthers team. Unbelievable. And I send this on your show and my show. the bottom line for the Buccaneers to me, and I saw it in 2022 when Baker Mayfield was with the Browns. He hurt that same left shoulder. Team went down. And I'm seeing the same exact thing. Baker's going to gut it out to the end. But sometimes, the teams that can't, you don't feel the backup isn't a better option. Maybe it doesn't require surgery, but he has not been the same. And it's a repeat of 2022 for Baker Mayfield. And to me, that's why the Bucs are failing.
Yeah, I mean, it's that, but it's also the construction of the defense. I mean, Todd Bowles, I've been told by a lot of people who are much smarter than me, Andy, that Todd Bowles, his job could be on the line here.
Oh, I think so. If he loses, wouldn't surprise me, and you probably should. This is a very good offensive team. I think when you look at the pieces, you look at the weapons, right? Mike Evans getting a bit older, but you got Ibuka there. You got McMillan, 2 young guys there. Godwin sort of iffy. You got, the running backs. You got pieces. But it might be a case where if you're Tampa Bay and you choke this one away, you need to get a real quick reset going because you got the pieces to still win that division next year, make a run, and be good. But maybe Todd Bowles just isn't the guy anymore.
Maybe not. Andy McNamara joining us here, talking about NFL Week 18 here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. And then the nightcap. Listen, Seattle and San Francisco, this is not just for the NFC West, Andy. This is for the division and the 1 seed. And there's a lot of teams who are nervous. I mean, where would you rather go, Seattle or San Francisco? That's what the rest of the NFC is thinking about. Would they rather go to a San Francisco team that is injured but has played above their skis all year, or to a Seattle team whose defense is really good but their offense is so-so?
Right, exactly. And I actually have 2 articles up now on the Sporting News. You can check it on X at AndyMC81 and in the stories at AndyMC Sports on Instagram. 2 Seahawks articles of Seahawks identify the one issue they need to fix to win the Super Bowl. And Josh, Sam Darnold's revenge. Seahawks quarterback chases redemption in division title class. Remember, 2023, he was the backup for the 49ers, right? And last year, this time of year exactly, it was Sam Darnold. Oh, my gosh, he was a bust. You called it for fantasy football a year ago, Josh. I thought you were nuts. But you're the only one who had Sam Darnold's back, and it paid off all the way until, and we kept saying, when is Sam Darnold going to go pumpkin? When is that chariot? When is the clock going to strike midnight? And he turns into a big old fat pumpkin. And last year, it was week 18. They laid an egg against the Lions and then were ousted by the Rams in the first round. We're seeing a Sam Darnold who is 3rd in the league in interceptions and also has 6 fumbles. So you're looking 20 total turnovers for Sam Darnold. And what is he going to be? He's got a chance at redemption. It's not going to go easy. And despite all that, the team still is 13-3. So I think this is a fascinating matchup. The 49ers are always overcoming injuries, right? But it looks to me, Josh, tell me what you think on this. I think you had the injuries, Brock Purdy in and out of the lineup all year. It seems to me that maybe the 49ers are getting healthy and getting into a groove at just the right time, where maybe the Seahawks are a little more inconsistent.
Yeah, and obviously the Seahawks are a team that, the biggest difference is Seattle is a defensive-minded coach. Yep. 49ers are an offensive-minded coach. And they're both up for the Coach of the Year, in my opinion, this year. You can make an argument for each one of both Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDonald. To me, I still go back to, I think the 49ers are the most dangerous team in the playoffs for the NFC because when you have a team that believes, that's scary. Yep. And Christian McCaffrey, he's an MVP-type candidate. He's having an amazing year. Brock Purdy seems to get better each and every week he's returned from his most latest set of injuries. And you know what? Even without no Brandon Ayuk, they trade away Deebo Samuel. As long as George Kittle is on the field, they seem to be okay offensively.
Right, which is not a given, as we know, with George Kittle's history, right? You got guys like Juwan Jennings stepping up when needed. And it really, though, that whole offense is Christian McCaffrey. That's it. That's you take Christian McCaffrey away, it's over real quick. So that's where, if you're the Seahawks, that's the gamesmanship. That's the chess match that we get to see, right? It's the defense. How do you can't stop Christian McCaffrey. Can you contain him enough? Can you contain him enough where you got to dink? You can't dink and dunk him. And you got to try to go deep. You got to try to force. That's the big question. That's why I think this team or this game is going to be so fascinating. And like you said, you got the NFC 1 seed on the line, home playoffs throughout the NFC postseason, and you win the division. Like everything is on the line and it comes Saturday night.
Andy, let's get into the Sunday action because there's not a ton of games on the Sunday slate that matter. One of them is interesting, the Falcons and the Saints, because for those who don't know, Tampa Bay actually needs the Falcons to lose. This scenario is absolutely nuts, where if the Bucks and the Panthers tie and the Falcons win, the Panthers win the division. So it's like,
is it really?
Yes, it's absolutely bonkers because what happened was when the Falcons won last week, right? That game that nobody expected them to win, that changed the entire hierarchy of the NFC because right now, when you look at the NFC, the Falcons are now a team that is 6-5 against the conference. The Bucks are 5-6. And because the way the tiebreakers work is, of course, it's head-to-head is number one. And then number two, it's win-loss record of people that you beat. And also, you have the common opponent rule.
Yep.
So you have all these tiebreakers that come into place. And if you're the Panthers, listen, you might be 8-8, but you're not a fraudulent 8-8 because you know what you did this year? You beat Atlanta twice. The Bucks didn't do that, Andy.
Nope. Boy, what a mess of it. You know what? It's a messy division, but also it's very interesting. Like it's an interesting messy. The AFC North is just like boring, crappy messy this year. The NFC South is wild. You got Carolina out of nowhere. Tampa Bay starts out, goes down. Falcons can play spoilers. You look at the Saints. Tyler Shuck, like Josh, it wasn't that many weeks ago. We're like, okay, well, teams that are going to be looking to draft a Fernando Mendoza or Dante Moore, or you included the Saints with the Raiders, with the Browns, with the Jets.
Right.
Now, if you're the Saints, you're 6-10. Maybe you win Sunday, maybe you don't. But if it's me, I'm pretty good saying, you know what? Let's build up around this Tyler Shuck for a year and see if we can make the whole team a bit better because the guy's shown flashes.
Andy McNamara joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. You know, Andy, one of the things also is with the NFL, do you buy into the theory that if Kirk Cousins would have started all year, the Falcons would be a playoff team? Or do you think that's a farce?
I think it's a farce. He would have got hurt or messed up or whatever, right? Like, you know, Kirk Cousins is at the age where he can come in for, you know, he's your classic vet, right? You're tremendous number two. I think, say what you want about Kirk Cousins, boy, if you can have him as your backup, that's a guy your starter goes down. You're feeling tremendous about to have come in to still play at a decent level. But for a whole year, we've seen that's why he wasn't the starter to begin with. That's why he's trying. You know, no, I don't buy into that at all. I think they probably would be about the same.
Well, some of the team that you cover on a weekly basis on the Sick Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube as well, the Sunday morning show, 10 a.m. each Sunday. And he talked to me about the article he wrote at the Sporting News, the idea that Shedeur Sanders could go in the next year being QB1. I think it's a very interesting conversation because I'm not a fan of this draft class. I think this is a very, very weak draft class, whereas 2027, that's what it looks like with the juice is, right? Because it's more than Arch Manning in 2027. It's CJ Bailey at NC State. It's a lot of other guys. Like Lenore Sellers at South Carolina.
Right,
There's a lot of guys who are going to be in the 2027 class, whereas, frankly, we don't even know what Mendoza is going to be at the next level because, you know, is he a one-hit wonder at Indiana? We have no idea. There's no guarantee that Brown of Oregon is going to come out in the draft. He's a 50-50 proposition. I mean, Phil Knight could just walk in and drop money on the desk and be like, stay, kid, and more than the NFL would pay him. So,
Ty Simpson.
Yeah, no one's impressed by Ty. Ty Simpson's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's a good leader, but he's kind of like Kirk Cousins, right? He's kind of like the guy who he'll put up the good stats, he'll be the good teammate, but he's not going to be the franchise quarterback necessarily.
No, take him in he's a guy to me, I would say, third, fourth round. And you know, maybe he's a bridge guy, maybe he's, you know, something like that. Here's the thing that bugs me. Every year, Josh, it seems, every year we all say, boy, the next year's class, that's the one. We said it this time last year for this year's class. We said it the year before about last year's class. It was supposed to be, remember, Quinn Ewers, Brock Beck, or Carson Beck. Oh, man, those two guys. Then we saw him play head-to-head like week 3, and it's like, oh, these guys suck. Goosh. Just an absolute bottoming out. Then this year, and then Fernando Mendoza comes out of nowhere. I'll tell you this, Josh. I got my draft day post-it note, Fernando Mendoza, no matter what, my movie post-it note like in the movie. My gosh, I know you say we don't know. I think I know. That guy's the real deal. I am head over heels. He is my absolute NFL draft crush. I would give whatever you need to get that guy. I think he's a leader of men. I think he's passionate. I think he's poised. I think he's class act. I think he's fearless. And you're right. You end up going to a bum situation and no offensive line, you get beat up. Who knows? But man, to me, that's the only guy you spend any capital to go up and get. I like Dante Moore. I wouldn't trade the house for Dante Moore. And after that, if Dante Moore comes out, that's not 100% either.
Huge if.
If I'm, that's the thing. And so really, if he doesn't, it's Fernando Mendoza, and then you're not taking a quarterback.
No, because again, Ty Simpson, Carson. Well, I think Ty Simpson's better than Carson Beck. My problem with Carson Beck is that I think he's a system quarterback. You're seeing you saw it on Thursday night with Gunnar Stockton that Gunnar Stockton is actually a better gamer than Carson Beck is. Carson Beck is riding the wave that he has one of the best defenses of all of college football carrying him through the postseason. He hasn't won any of these games. He just hasn't lost any of the games.
To me, he's a backup. Again, a guy who, like, I would draft Ty Simpson before him, but I'd take him again, 4th round, and he's probably somebody who can come in, compete in a competition. If you're in a bad situation, start a few games, probably a better backup, but not exciting. Josh, we could end up seeing a real situation like we did last year where it's Cam Ward and then it's like, cross your fingers. Who would have thought that Tyler Shuck could be the best rookie out of this draft class currently?
Or could it be Shedeur? Do you feel like Shedeur is trending upward? Because there's a lot of other guys who look at him. I listen to guys like Kurt Warner and those kind of guys, the former quarterbacks who are saying this guy has gotten better each week.
Yeah. Now, so here's the thing. What all the listeners have to remember this. Whatever you see Shedeur Sanders, that guy did not have one single rep, not one, with a first-team starter until after the Baltimore game. So I forget what week that was. He's going into his 7th start, so do the math, whatever that's going to be. But in training camp, he wasn't even on the same field with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. He was exiled to a separate field, Josh. He was practicing with Gage Lavardane. He was just practicing with undrafted rookies. So he had 0. So the way he's played, the placement of the ball. Now, has he made some bonehead decisions on stuff? Yep, you're darn right. But the way he's developed in season, I think, is something that you cannot ignore. And to me, if I cannot get my Fernando Mendoza, if I can't have him in orange and brown, then what I do is I take my 2 first-round draft picks, the other one from Jacksonville. I get the best offensive tackle because you're going to need 3 to 4 new offensive linemen for the Browns, 3 to 4. And then I get the best wide receiver.
Well, really quick, maybe that's what the answer is. Maybe it's not the quarterback from Indiana, it's the tackle from Indiana. Because listen, we're kind of laughing about it, but I was texting with a buddy of mine the other day. I said, Indiana has basically dominated the trenches in almost every game this year. And between the guy from Indiana and the guy from Utah, there's going to be some legit dudes in this draft class. And if I'm the Browns, I say, who cares about the quarterback? Let's get the weapons and people around the quarterback. Let's get an offensive lineman in the 1st round. Let's go get a wide receiver in the 2nd round. And then see what happens when you put talent around him. But the other question is, and this goes back to another article that you wrote at the Sporting News, which I thought was absolutely fascinating.
Well, thank you.
Kevin Stefanski, maybe he's not the coach next year. Could it be Jim Schwartz 2.0, and then you bring in a guy like, let's say, a Brian Daboll to be the offensive coordinator. I'm just saying, like, there's a world where Jim Schwartz basically says, I'm going to be the head coach of the team, but I'm going to hire someone to run the offense and be the head coach of the offense.
If it's me, that's a 1,000% what I do. Why do you want, and Myles Garrett, I got an article up on Sport News as well up there. Myles Garrett's comments went viral today at the press conference. Let's just say, you can read about it. Let's just say he did not give Kevin Stefanski a vote of confidence coming out of that. My perfect world is this. Why would I want to let Jim Schwartz leave the building? And if you hire a new head coach, Jim Schwartz is gone. We know that. Everyone brings in their new guys.
Right.
So why would I want a guy who has had this Browns defense at a high level for the most part? It's not perfect. It's not the best in the league. But Myles Garrett's going to get his second defensive player of the year. That's under Jim Schwartz. Under Jim Schwartz, you're going to have the defensive rookie of the year in Carson Schlesinger, linebacker. You got those two, and you got a defense with upside. Why do I want that? The only part of the team that's working, the only part, the defense. Why do I want the architect of that to go? Put him in charge. He's done it before. He took over a Lions team. Remember, when he took over, was coming off of that winless season. The guy knows how to deal with dysfunction. Have him in charge. I love the Daboll. He was actually with the Browns years ago. That's what I said. Get Daboll in there. He knows how to fix quarterbacks. Daboll in there. Get a new special teams guy and see what you can do when you build up around Shador. And then it doesn't work out. Like we talked about, it's an Arch Manning. It's whoever the hot flavor is in 2027.
Yeah, and it doesn't be literally Brian Daboll, but you got Josh McCown out there. He's working with Kevin McConnell and the Vikings right now. Like, there are guys out there that would absolutely take the OC job.
Yes.
If you're telling them it's your offense, I am not touching it. You know what I mean?
It's an appealing situation.
Right. That's the problem in today's NFL is that you don't, if you're an aspiring coach, you don't want to work for a Kyle Shanahan, a Sean McVay, any of these, maybe not Andy Reid, because Andy Reid's got people hired as head coaches, but it's the idea that you don't want to work for someone who's not going to let you run your offense, because if you run your offense, now you're in a position to showcase yourself for other teams.
Yes, exactly. And I was thinking with Andy Reid, who was it, Eric Bieniemy, who everyone for like a decade said should have been
listen. There's a lot of people who have said that without Bieniemy, they've lost a lot of discipline in that locker room, and that he was kind of the bad cop, that Andy's good cop, and now Andy and Matt Nagy are not as good at doing the good cop, bad cop thing. So there's a lot of speculation that maybe they were too quick to not give Bieniemy a little more something, because realistically, I'm only telling you what I've heard, so I can't report this firsthand, but I have been told by people, I've heard from a lot of people who have covered the league that have said that they have been told that Bieniemy's a bad interview. That's why he's not coaching in the NFL as a head coach. But you know what? Maybe if he works well with Andy Reid, maybe they need to bring him back next year. I don't know. All right, before I let you go, the final game Sunday night I want to hit on with you, Andy. You know this team's very, very, very well. It is the AFC North battle between the floundering Ravens and the I don't know who you are Steelers. Congratulations, Mike Tomlin. You have another winning season for the 200th year in a row, but you still might lose the division if the Ravens somehow rise up from basically, I don't know how they're still alive. I mean, the way the Ravens were floundering down the stretch, I mean, the Steelers kept them in it, basically.
Yeah.
And, by the way, there's a lot of people who feel like the Steelers were more interested in not letting Myles Garrett get a sack than them getting a win last week.
Myles Garrett, and he told you as much.
Right. Yeah, Mike Tomlin.
Cowardice, Josh.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin didn't think so, but I think that there's something to be said for it. Listen, what does this game come down to on Sunday night, Andy? Because I mean, I know it's in Pittsburgh, but I mean, that's the only thing I know for sure. I mean, Baltimore is favored on the spread, but am I really going to pick against the Steelers at home in prime time for a Baltimore team that has one win in the last 4 weeks?
Boy, betting-wise, I don't want to touch this one at all. I like nothing about it. I don't like the total points at 49. I like nothing about that game. Nothing. I don't want any piece of it from a betting standpoint. This is fascinating. Aaron Rodgers is the old dog who's been looking mighty old. Got one more in him. Lamar Jackson's back. He looks like he's going to be playing, but backs are funny, right? You go in, you get tweaked. Is he going to be able to complete the game? How does that look? I dislike both these teams tremendously. I wish they could both somehow lose, Josh. But granting that they can't, I would say I think the Ravens do pull it out. I think they inch their way, no matter what. Just like that NFC South, whoever comes out of this, you won't have to worry about them long in the playoffs. They'll be a one and done in whatever wildcard matchup they get.
Well, for what it's worth, the Baltimore Ravens have won 5 straight road games. Meanwhile, the Steelers, last 2 games for them were on the road. So they're coming back home for the first time since December 15th for a game. So 2 teams in very different, situations right now. I mean, do we even trust them to score in this game?
It's super. I think it's going to be super ugly. I think it's going to be low scoring. Maybe you do take the under that 40.5. Maybe that is an okay bet. I think it's going to be ground and pound, Josh. I do. I think it's going to be Derrick Henry. I think it's going to be the combo of Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. And they're just going to kind of, either the extended run play with the dink and dunk passes, or I don't see a lot of chances happening. Maybe it comes down to one of those things where you dink and dunk all game, and then one of these MVPs, former MVPs, takes their big shot downfield when it counts and gets it done. But if you're the Steelers too, who's Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to if it's not 4 feet to Kenneth Gainwell? DK Metcalf's not playing. Calvin Austin the third. I don't care if you get the first, second, or third Calvin Austin. I don't care if he's playing or not. Am I scared of him? Deep shot wonder, that's it. I saw him play this. They got no one to throw to. You got MVS he's chucking it up to.
Marcus Valdes-Scantling, yeah.
Yes, I don't think the Steelers can score. So I think the Ravens try to get up early and just kind of rope-a-dope them and hold on.
Wow. All right, Kyle, if I check out Andy McNamara for all of his NFL coverage at the Sporting News, follow him on X at AndyMC81, also on Instagram at AndyMC Sports. And Andy, go ahead and plug the Sunday morning show, The Sick Podcast.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, that's right. Live 10 a.m. Eastern, and it'll be all these Week 18 matchups because there's plenty of betting opportunities. We'll have the parlay party. We will take a look at some of those way too early fantasy football rankings. Also, I want to know your fantasy football moment of shame. Think of the bell from Game of Thrones. Ding, ding, ding. Shame. Shame. What is the mistake you made that made it cost you your season? I want to know about it. We'll be talking about that, talking some Browns too, and all the what ifs. Because after this week, Josh, it turns into what? Black Monday. And that's when all the coaches and GMs start falling. So it's going to be very interesting.
All right, Andy, appreciate you jumping on. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Talk to you.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. A big NFL Saturday doubleheader coming up. First, the Carolina Panthers are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the NFC South Division race coming down to the wire. Then, the NFC West title, along with the top NFC playoff seed, is at stake when the San Francisco 49ers host the Seattle Seahawks. Don't miss any of the action on the Saturday NFL doubleheader.
It's NFL Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 4 p.m.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the Gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Lowe's Closeout event means the final savings of the season are here. It's your last chance to get deals on seasonal decor, tools, flooring, and so much more. Refresh your home, check off your project list, or simply stock up on the brands you trust. Shop now to grab amazing deals before they're gone. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 1/7. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Hi, Merrill Reese from Mike's Seafood Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. Come join over 5,000 participants in the 5K race and the family fun walk, followed by a great after party. The party is not just for the runners and walkers, it's for the entire family. They'll have clowns, superheroes, and face painters for the kids. For more information or to register, go to polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Any day you can do something for children with disabilities is a good day.
Mike's Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism, Saturday, February 14th on the Boardwalk in Sea Isle City.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night!
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Hang with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN is always being brought to you by Work of Art Construction. Are you ready to have a kitchen makeover, remodel the bathroom, get a brand new back deck, or maybe you just need a new front or door or windows installed? Call 609-788-4271 for Work of Art Construction. Art Masker and his 40 years of construction experience can help beautify your home. Save 10% off your next home project with Work of Art Construction when you mention 97.3 ESPN. Call Art Masker and Work of Art Construction at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly look like a work of art and save 10% off your next order when you mention you heard about it on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. 609-788-4271 for Work of Art Construction. All right, let's wrap up the hour. I want to get a text from George from Summers Point. He was listening to our conversation with Andy McNamara. We didn't get a chance to ask Andy, but we'll answer it here. He says, hey, Josh, love hearing you and Andy talk about the draft. Got a draft question for you guys. Do you guys think the Giants should trade their first-round pick, which should be one of the highest in the coming draft? George in Summers Point. I actually do think they should trade it, Alex, because here's why. They need help around their quarterback. If you're going to find out if Jackson Dart is legit, you got to put talent around him. You got to get a better offensive line. You got to make sure you have a better number 2 and number 3 receiver than they got right now. So to me, I think it's about trying to put more talent around the quarterback. And this is not going to be a good quarterback draft class. 2027 is going to be where it's at. So I think teams like I mentioned, the Browns, Andy McNamara, the Giants with Jackson Dart, those teams look at their quarterbacks and be like, look, let's give you a full year to see if you're the guy. Make sense?
Yeah, I think if people are wanting to trade Dart for Mendoza, you're ridiculous.
Coming up on the other side, we'll get back more into the Eagles, also get some Flyers talk. Haley Taylor-Simon joins us next on 97.3 ESPN.
Sunday morning in the locker with Billy Schwein, producer Alex Berardis, and my twin brother Bobby Schwein join me in the studio. We'll get you ready for the Eagles-Commanders game and get the keys to the game with Fox 29 News sports anchor Scott Grayson, brought to you by Blitz's Market. Hour 2, Mr. Negadelphia PJ Corda chimes in with his thoughts on the Philly sports scene, brought to you by the Vassar Pool Service. Then my fantasy football guru Brian Harley checks in with his picks for Week 18 in the NFL, brought to you by Charlie's Bar. It's the locker with Billy Schwein, Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Here's one simple step you can take right now to improve your health and kick off the new year right. Drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up. Here are the top 6 benefits. Number 1, it rehydrates our body after we've had nothing to drink all night long. 2, it increases our energy by ensuring our tissues and organs get the fluids they need. Number 3, it boosts mental performance since dehydration is linked to brain fog and headaches. 4, drinking cold water can rev up our metabolism. Number 5, it aids digestion. And finally, drinking water in the morning and all day long can help curb our hunger, which can help with weight loss. A simple step we can all take to start the new year right. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update.
Wipes clog pipes. Even flushable wipes can block sewer lines and cause costly repairs. If it's not toilet paper, don't flush it. Wipes, paper towels, feminine products, they all go in the trash. For more info, visit acua.com/don'tflush.
The Wildwood Fishing and Boating Expo is back at the Wildwoods Convention Center January 9th through the 11th. Check out 80,000 square feet of boats, tackle, gear, and accessories with 12 boat dealers and 100 vendors all under one roof. Free parking, free seminars, and free face painting for kids. Plus, they're giving away a free Yeti 65 cooler every day. Tickets are just $12 for adults, $5 for kids 6 to 13, and kids 5 and under are free. Visit fishingexpowildwood.com, the biggest little expo in New Jersey.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Sal Vulcano, Everything's Fine Tour. One hilarious night of brand new stand-up material from Sal Vulcano.
Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth about Thunder. Did you tell me it's God bowling? I took that information to school. I got my ass handed to me.
Sal Vulcano live. Saturday, February 28th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. From Impractical Jokers and the Hey Babe and Taste Buds podcast. It's Sal Vulcano. On sale now at theoceanac.com.
Home of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right?
Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
We are live, hour 2 of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. I am Josh Hennig. For the first show of 2026, we are live at the 97.3 ESPN Studios. Alex Berardis joining me in the studio. We'll get to Haley Taylor Simon in just a moment, but I would be remiss if I didn't do one thing. So, credit needs to be given to Alex, who started the year, 0-5?
Correct.
In our fantasy football league. He came all the way back from 0-5 to make the playoffs. He didn't just win the 97.3 ESPN Fantasy Football League. He beat the one and only football scientist, Casey Joyner, in the finals of the league. So, as a recognition, we play this. I might have actually hit the play button properly.
I sent you this. The goat of all goats.
At the end of the bet, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the ultimate needle mover, the head of the table, the tribal chief, in God mode himself.
Alex Berardis is the 97.3 Fantasy Football League champion. So congratulations, Alex.
See, that little moment there was better than any payout I got getting acknowledged. I sent that to Josh before
you even won.
Yeah, before I won.
Because you actually said to me on Instagram, you were like, if I win, this is how I would like to be introduced.
There was no fear. There was no got to blow it up, change everything. I knew the guys I had were dogs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Bijan Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson became my MVP of the season. He was my sleeper pick when I got the recap of the season. I mean, my quarterback play at the end. Baker Mayfield carried me throughout the season. Then when the playoffs hit, I let Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence clean it up. And then, what can I say? 7-7, started 0-5. First year in the 97-3 league. I'm the champ. There was one thing on draft night I won't forget. I remember I got to the draft early.
Yes.
And I forget who was at the table. But all the winners, it just happened to be were on the one side of the table. Not like on purpose or anything. It just so happened to be that way. And I forget, but someone mentioned this is the winner side. Everybody else, that's the loser side. And that's been in my mind.
Been in your mind ever
since?
since?
From draft night. And I think it was Andy we had on.
I think it might have been Andy, yeah.
Andy was chirping a lot of my picks, I got to say. He wasn't giving credit to any of the picks, saying, I can't believe you went that way. But you know what?
But at the end of the day, you didn't just win, but you also were the opposite side of Billy Schwein. Because even though you started 0-5, you rectified it. Billy finished 0-13. So
there's got to be something done for that.
Listen, I gave you guys my idea, but I digress. We'll bring in Haley Taylor-Simon now, of course. She joins us throughout the year here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Haley, we had to give Alex his moment to do his lap around. How you doing, Haley?
Good. How about you? Congratulations, Alex.
I want acknowledgement.
I'm not. Listen, I wasn't in this fantasy league, and therefore I only have one OTC.
Okay.
And that's Roman, but I will congratulate you.
Appreciate it.
Well, listen, I might know the commissioner of the league, so if you want in next year, you're more than welcome to, Haley.
It's funny, with fantasy, I used to join all of these leagues with people that I know, and now I do it with like the most random people I find on the internet. I find people on Reddit and like all over, because if I don't win, I don't want someone texting me being like, oh, you had a really bad week. It's like so frustrating to me when you have like the perfect team, injuries happen, and then you find yourself in last place like 2 years in a row with people that you know.
I will say this, and this is where it's ironic because Alice can attest to this. We have a group chat for the 97.3 Fantasy League, and people are like quiet in that chat.
I was going to say, I wish there was more.
There was
chirping.
barely any chirping in our chat. I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
I feel like I was the one starting a decent amount to like, once I started getting the groove going, I was like, hey guys, like, I'm winning. Like,
yeah, there was like Alex would jump in, then I would jump in, and then maybe one other person, and then just like crickets. Like maybe like Earnshaw would jump in, and then like everybody else just kind of like, do. And then Billy would get mad and be like, what about me? You know.
Well,
so there's really not a lot of nitpicking in our league for some reason.
Apparently, Josh has been saying for years now that he's done commissioning the league, but it sounds like he's got another one in him.
Well, listen,
everyone paid right up front this time. It was great.
This is the first time in 4 years that everybody actually paid. It was actually a miracle.
Much appreciated, guys in the league. Thank you.
Haley, what are your thoughts on people not paying up in fantasy leagues? You gotta.
So the moment I get invited to a league and the dues are posted, I pay instantly. I hate. This is like my one pet peeve is like when the group chat's like, oh, so-and-so owes me. Pay. You know what it's going to be. Pay the dues, because then it's just so frustrating. And then if you don't win and then the league concludes and you still owe money, then it's kind of awkward for the winner. It's not good. Pay your dues. Now, luckily, on my my fantasy league that I do, nobody pays because we don't know each other. But when it comes to other fantasies that I do, it's just you pay when the commission makes the league.
Listen, and that's why I purposely, for the 97.3 league, I say, look, what can I afford? That's what everybody else pays. So it's $25. We'll be doing $25 since we started the league in 2018.
That's fair.
And, my theory is if I can pay $25, everyone else should be able to pay $25.
Yeah, there's some leagues where I feel like they set it at $200 per person. And
stupid.
It is. And I don't know about you guys, but do you do multiple leagues or is it just the one?
I'm in 3 leagues this year. This is the first time I've done more than 2. And I immediately regret it because I feel like I kept getting confused of who was on what team. I'm in 2 paid leagues, and one was like a freebie, like people just kind of having fun. kind of league. I know, Alex, you're in a dynasty league. Is your other league, right?
I'm in 3 dynasties, which somehow
Ooh.
happened. Like, I only planned on being in 3 leagues this year.
Gotta have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, like, I've been in 1 dynasty. This is our 4th season. I'm in a complete rebuild. We're just stripping it all down. Obviously, the 97-3 league. And then, like, I was making one with some of my hometown boys. And then one day during the summer, I was, like, craving a fantasy draft, and I really wanted to draft. And then one of my roommates from college texted me and was like, yo, some kid dropped out. We're drafting tonight in a dynasty. You want in? I was like, yeah, sure. I lost in the semis, even though I was, like, the favorite going into the playoffs. So that one really hurt. But now I'm just kind of stuck in 4 leagues now because I got to keep doing this league. And now the dynasties, you just got to keep doing dynasty. You can't really bail out on that.
No, you can't bail out now. You're already invested at this point.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it back to the Eagles, as someone once famously used to say in Philadelphia talk radio. So, Haley, let's loop you into the conversation. You know, we talked about in the first hour about, you know, if you had to choose, because tonight is going to decide who the 1 seed is in the NFC. Who would you rather be the 1 seed? Is it Seattle or is it San Francisco? Because there is a good chance that the Eagles, if they go to the NFC Championship, they are going to one of those 2 locations, Haley.
That's a good question. This is something that I really thought about because San Francisco, they're so beatable. And maybe that's just my ego kicking in from what we've seen in the past, the Eagles and Niners. But Seattle, man, like this Seattle team is something special. So I would rather be the 49ers only for the fact that I feel like they are the more beatable team. Is that crazy to say? Or I kind of figure that a lot of people listening might go with Seattle, but
Listen, it's interesting. The poll right now is 50-50 on
Okay.
X at 973. And we've got some interesting people chiming in, like Big Al from Violent chimed in earlier. He said, well, you know, if the Bears lose to the Packers in round 1, we would get a second home game anyway, which is true, but it doesn't rectify the 1 seed issue. Because remember, last year you got the 1 seed because the Lions got taken out by Washington. So, and let's be realistic, that Lions team was so injured, it became a running joke on the Netflix quarterback show. So, you know, that team is not this 49ers team. I've argued, Haley, he's not going to get it. Christian McCaffrey should be league MVP. Like, that guy has had such an amazing season. He has carried that team. No Brendan Ayuk. George Kittle missed half the year. Brock Purdy missed half the year. They're going to play tonight without Trent Williams, who might be the best left tackle in football. And it's like, and they still might be the 1 seed. And it's like, man, you know, Christian McCaffrey should either win MVP or Kyle Shanahan should win Coach of the Year. It's just insane to me. And that's why I'm worried about with them. And that is like, I'm not as worried about the Seattle Seahawks because I think Clint Kubiak is an overrated offensive coordinator in Seattle. Sam Darnold's kind of meh. And their running game is not very good, whereas Christian McCaffrey could basically be the guy who destroys the Eagles' defense. Because we've seen the Eagles' defense, where their struggle been this year, it has been stopping the run.
yeah, and while that's valid, and the only reason why I'm not concerned maybe is because of the Eagles defense. Now, if you just said strictly off of offensive performance, of course I'd be terrified of the 49ers, right? But when it comes to defense, I feel like that's where the Eagles excel. And I'm not like, it's so weird. We're approaching the last week of the regular season coming up. And for whatever reason, I'm still not confident in the Eagles offense. And this is a Super Bowl caliber defense, but the offense isn't. And I'm really puzzled on how we're going to approach this playoff run because, man, I want it to be a run. I don't want to be one and done, and that is my concern. And right now, when you look at the different matchups, you have to think, realistically, how many points are the Eagles going to put up, and how much of this is going to fall on the defense covering up this team again? And that's why these 2 teams right now, I mean, I don't like it, Josh. I don't like it at all. I do not feel good.
Talking with Haley Taylor-Simon, joining me and Alex Berardis here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Alex, what do you think? You know, do you think the Eagles can win rock fights, or are you also worried about the state of Philadelphia's offense here?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried, because you look at a game like that Seattle and the Rams played on Thursday night a few weeks ago. I don't know if the Eagles can play in that type of game where it's a shootout. And look, this defense, like Haley just said, championship caliber defense, no doubt about it. This defense can win you a championship. But I got a feeling at some point the playoffs are the best of the best. Best teams get in. You're going to be playing the top teams in the NFL. At some point, I feel like there's going to be a shootout game to where the offense is going to have to put up some points or drive down the field in a 2-minute situation to win a game. And right now, I don't know if that's possible. Look, they might be waiting for the playoffs, gears to start turning, everything clicks, maybe. But this past week against Buffalo was a real setback for me, because the weeks prior to, it was the Raiders and it was Washington, but the offense still looked good. Play calling looked better, not great, but it looked better than what it usually has been. The second half of that Buffalo game was atrocious. It's felt like every drive was run up the middle, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12, deep shot, 3 and out. Like that's exactly what we were dealing with all season long, and it felt as though we went away from that for a while. And then Buffalo came against a bad Buffalo defense. They're not great rushing defense or passing defense, and we couldn't get anything on them. Now, whether that's the offensive line, they need a week, this little off period here. We get Lane Johnson back. Maybe it looks better. But I do think the play calling just has to get better. And it's unreal that we're going into week 18 tomorrow, and we're still saying the same thing that we've been saying since week 1.
And that's why I said earlier in the show that, to me, I think it's almost a benefit that they're like, hey, you know what? Take the week off. Jalen, the whole O-line, everyone just sit down, take a break, take a breather. Sirianni mentioned the mental reset multiple times this week. Maybe they do need a mental reset. Maybe this is a team that is playing with their sphincters so tight that they just can't think straight. And maybe Patullo just needs to go out there and, relax. And remember that he's calling a football game and he's not, dealing with world affairs. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the overthinking by this offense, Haley, has been so insane at times that, everyone looks bad to the point where receivers are dropping balls, Jalen's holding the ball too long, Patullo looks like he doesn't even know what he's calling half the time, Sirianni is just yelling at everybody. At some point, it's like, guys, maybe you all just need a break. Get a Kit Kat bar.
Yeah, and that's the thing about a mental reset is that I question that. Honestly, I do agree in sitting the starters. That I do agree with. But when I hear Sirianni say things like that, it just makes me laugh, because all season it's been the same exact issues. And yes, I agree. The offense, they haven't looked great, but a lot of it does go on Kevin Patullo. And Sirianni, as the head coach, needs to step up and run the offense. And I get really frustrated when they talk about having a mental break, because it's not like this team was playing so well offensively. They weren't. And, that last game that we saw against Buffalo, do I feel better now? No, I don't actually. I feel worse, as Alex even stated himself. And I would really like this Eagles team to have a good run, but if not, they need to change a lot heading into next season. No more excuses, no more drama, none of it. Play the game, get an offensive coordinator who actually makes good calls. It's very simple what I'm asking, but I feel like right now, this whole they need a break to reset. Reset from what? Mediocre offense? How much do you really think is going to change between last week and the playoffs? Because in my opinion, it's going to be the same thing we're going to see from the offense. Maybe they'll kick it up, maybe not. I'm fired up because I'm so sick of this offense continuously letting this team down. It's the defense that has been saving this team. It's the special teams even. Except for Jake Elliott a couple weeks ago. But other than that, the offense is the issue, and it's still because of Kevin bleeping Patullo.
By the way, I was out for New Year's Eve, and the debate was which was the better new nickname for Jake Elliott. Is it Missy Elliott or Shaky Jake?
I like Shaky.
My friend Tyrone Johnson, he called him Missy Elliott, and whenever I text Ty, I'm like, it's Missy Elliott.
Everyone was calling him Jake the Make, and I was like, nah, it's Jake the Fake now because he's not good anymore.
I have a Jake Elliott jersey.
I mean,
hold on. When was the last time you wore it?
Oh, man. It was this season. It was week 3 or week 4.
Find out when you wore it and double check it to see if he made kicks that week or not.
He definitely did, because at the game, I said, this is why I have the jersey on. And like everybody in my section was like, what's wrong with this girl?
So what we're saying is Haley Taylor Simon needs to wear her Jake Elliott jersey the rest of the postseason.
No. Last year was my lucky Jay Davis. This year we're going to be rocking Saquon Barkley.
All right.
Listen, if they lose in the postseason, it's all your fault then.
Doesn't Jake Elliott have a thing?
It's the knockoffs.
Every playoff game he's missed a kick in. The Eagles have won that game.
He has. So every postseason game he's missed an extra point.
They've won.
They're like, I think it says 5. I got to double check. I think it's 5-0. They're 5-0 when Jake Elliott misses an extra point.
So if the Eagles go on the road and he misses a PAT, it's going to be like two worlds collide. Eagles can't win a playoff game on the road under Sirianni.
Right.
But they also can't lose when Jake Elliott misses an extra point.
Exactly.
I want that to happen now, actually. Just to see what happens.
You're rooting for the chaos.
Yeah. Well, what else I got to root for right now? Look, no one fears me still in the NFC. The Eagles fear me the most just because you don't know what you're getting. Am I getting Texas Tech's offense that we watched against who they play? Oregon. Like, you don't know. That was horrible. It felt like I was watching an Eagles. The Eagles haven't been that bad.
Listen, I told you, a friend of mine, she texted me on New Year's Day. She said, Texas Tech now knows how Eagle fans feel because you have a great defense. The offense can't do anything. And it's like, that is the ultimate fear in the postseason. The ultimate fear is you're going to get into a game with the Packers or the Seahawks or the 49ers or the Panthers or the Bucks or whoever, and it's going to be like at halftime 3-3. And you're going to be like, come on, guys, what are we doing here?
It is interesting, though, that the 2 games Jalen Hurts has not completed a pass in the second half, they've won both games. So it's like, that doesn't even make sense.
Well, it doesn't give you any good feelings either, because what it tells you is that this team last year was a great in-game adjustment team. They made amazing adjustments at halftime, and they were the best second-half team in football. This year, they're one of the worst second-half teams in football. Like, they are in the same category as, like, the New York Jets. Like, those kind of teams in the second half of games, statistically, offensively. So it's like, that's not where you want to be when you have a Super Bowl MVP at quarterback, a 2-time second-team All-Pro wide receiver, a former Heisman Trophy winner at wide receiver, a guy in Dallas Goedert who had arguably one of the best years of his career statistically this year, and you're supposed to have a top-tier offensive line and a All-Pro caliber running back, and it's like, and we're struggling to score. Thanks for nothing, Haley.
Well, and
not your fault, literally, but...
No, I'm just so frustrated because I have defended Jalen Hurts since day one, since the day that he was drafted here. Like, I am so frustrated, and I think the frustration is real because what I'm expecting to see in the playoffs is the defense carrying. Now, this Eagles offense, and I have to ask both of you because I am curious, do you think any team, a playoff contending team, fears the Eagles offense right now?
I mean, maybe the Bucks because their defense is playing so bad.
And the talent's still there. Like, I actually recently have not put a lot of this on Jalen Hurts. I think Lane Johnson said it early in the year, and it's been the same exact problem. We're too predictable.
Right.
Like, if the defense knows exactly what's coming to them, which I do think that the defense, when they play the Eagles offense does, they know, all right, run, pass, run, pass, run, pass.
Or fake the run, pass, then on 3rd and long pass.
And I've heard guys on podcasts say when they know when A.J. Brown's lined up in a certain position, they know it's either an out route or an in route.
Can I just say really quick, it's not guys on podcasts. the podcast
Like
of
players, like-
Nick Foles, Kurt Warner, like guys who played in the league who are saying, A.J. Brown lines up in the same spot every third down, and Devonta Smith runs the same route on every third down, and every first down they run the same off the left guard in between the guard and the center. Like, these is not just Alex Berardis, Haley Taylor-Simon, and Josh Hennig saying it. It's guys who are like guys who won Super Bowls who are saying it. Like, if they're seeing it and we're seeing it, and then the Eagles don't see it, I can't be mad at the Eagles fan who's screaming, saying, fire Kevin Patullo.
Well, and that's the other thing. When it comes to Kevin Patullo, I more of the blame now I shifted from KP to Sirianni, because at the end of the day, if you're the head coach, you're an offensive mind, you take over, you take control, you make better calls. And this season, like, I thought about it actually today when I was getting ready for the show. We had players go rogue and make their own decisions. Like, we have gone through so much with this offense, and Nick Sirianni doesn't do anything. He doesn't adjust. There's no adjustments. Even the freaking Cowboys defense adjusted when it came to covering the Eagles offense.
Yep.
And it's the Cowboys, man, who are not even playing that well. So overall, I think the frustration from the fan base is valid. People always say, oh, Philadelphia fans are always negative. No, we're passionate, but we also got told by all the players last season, by all the personnel, that they were going to run this back and that we would be back-to-back champs. And I'm not seeing a championship offense, and I'm allowed to be disappointed in that.
She's Haley Taylor-Simon. He's Alex Berardis. I'm Josh Hennig, hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, don't forget Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by my friends over at Prevail Nutrition. If you're tired of meal prepping each and every week, let Prevail Nutrition simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design your own meal plans. You can order online at prevailnutrition.club. Get free delivery on orders over $50 to Atlantic and Cumberland counties, along with Ocean City, or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday in Absecon. Again, it's prevailnutrition.club. Be like me and make your go-to choice for prepared meals and foods from the best meal prep service in all of South Jersey. And unlike the big names, they do not have loads of sodium and sugar preservatives in their food. It's freshly made for you to heat up your food each and every week. For more information, go to prevailnutrition.club. More Eagles talk coming up on the other side. Jeff from Summers Point, Paul in Millville. We'll get to your text coming up next. All that and more on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM. Streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. A big NFL Saturday doubleheader coming up. First, the Carolina Panthers are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the NFC South Division race coming down to the wire. Then, the NFC West title, along with the top NFC playoff seed, is at stake when the San Francisco 49ers host the Seattle Seahawks. Don't miss any of the action on the Saturday NFL doubleheader.
It's NFL Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 4 p.m.
Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Come join us for happy hour weekdays from 4 to 6. Enjoy half price orders of Chicky's wings, delicious pieces, scrumptious hot, cold, or fried shrimp, jumbo soft pretzel with a trio of tasty dips, plus $3 domestic bottles, $6 Tito's, and $6 seltzers. Come join our happy hour weekdays 4 to 6. Come taste and enjoy. Only at Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice cold draft beer, world famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
The Wildwood Fishing and Boating Expo is back at the Wildwoods Convention Center January 9th through the 11th. Check out 80,000 square feet of boats, tackle, gear, and accessories with 12 boat dealers and 100 vendors all under one roof. Free parking, free seminars, and free face painting for kids. Plus, they're giving away a free Yeti 65 cooler every day. Tickets are just $12 for adults, $5 for kids 6 to 13, and kids 5 and under are free. Visit fishingexpowildwood.com, the biggest little expo in New Jersey.
Hi, Merrill Reese from Mike's Seafood Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. Come join over 5,000 participants in the 5K race and the Family Fun Walk, followed by a great after party. The party is not just for the runners and walkers, it's for the entire family. They'll have clowns, superheroes, and face painters for the kids. For more information or to register, go to polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Any day you can do something for children with disabilities is a good day.
Mike's Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism, Saturday, February 14th on the Boardwalk in Sea Isle City.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back to you on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, joined by Alex Berardis and Haley Taylor Simon. Glad to have everybody on board the show. We'll get to the text board in just a moment at 609-403-0973. We're also streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons to watch all the content on my YouTube and X platforms. Before we get back to text, I do want to give a quick shout out to my guy Tommy down in Sea Isle City. I was at the Coastal Chop House for New Year's Eve. And aside from the great food and great ambiance, it was just a great opportunity to be around good people, great service. You know, obviously it's steakhouse, and I would argue that it's probably the best steakhouse in all of South Jersey. But I would also encourage people, because this is the final weekend for Coastal Chop House. We're going to take off the rest of the month of January. I just want to remind everybody, please go out there and support local small businesses. You know, these small businesses are the lifeline of our communities. You know, Tommy does an amazing job of supporting the Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. I'm out there every year helping out with the event. We support the event here at 97.3 ESPN. And I just ask everybody, stop going to the big name brands for restaurants and for all those different things. If you're going to go get seafood, go to Mike's Seafood in Sea Isle City. If you're going to go out to have a great night for lunch or dinner at a steakhouse, go to the Coastal Chop House in Sea Isle City. Support the local businesses because they need your support. Amazon, those big name companies, they don't need your money. Okay. The local community needs your money. So I just encourage everybody, there's so many great businesses in South Jersey, and we try to highlight them all here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Yesterday's Creekside Tavern in Marmora, Haley and I were out there. Alex and I have been out there. They do an amazing job there as well. So, if you're going to go out, if you're going to spend your disposable income, folks, I just encourage you to support the great local small businesses here in South Jersey. All right, I got that off my chest. We'll get back to text board now at 609-403-0970. Paul from Millville chimes in. He says, Happy New Year, everyone. He said, something important yesterday is that Nick Sirianni and the Eagles are undefeated in the postseason games at home. They are winless in postseason games on the road, as Alex mentioned. I think that for a team that cares so much about the numbers, they will dearly pay for not going for the second seed when the offense is a complete mess, except for when they play the Raiders, says Paul from Millville. It sounds like Paul from Millville is pulling from the Haley Taylor Simon playbook there.
Yeah, he is. This Eagles offense you can't trust it. They're not trustworthy. Listen, when it comes to the numbers, yes, the Eagles are undefeated on the road under Sirianni in the playoffs. We know that. That's a fact. At home, undefeated. So it's like you're going to be on the road at some point, most likely. The question is, will you win or will you continue to add on to that record? I don't know. I don't trust the Eagles offense. So I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
By the way, another thing from Paul from Millville. Wait, your reaction to this, Alex. Paul from Millville says, when I'm the commissioner of a fantasy league, I do a draft lottery based off of who pays first. The person who pays first gets the best odds to win the number one pick, and the last person to pay gets the worst odds for the number one pick in the draft next year. What do you think about that, Alex?
I do like that because I do think there's got to be some sort of way to determine a order. I think we just did a random one, right?
Well, no, not fully random. So the way I do it is that I combine the new people with the people with the worst record into like a specific, kind of like the NBA does, where like you, Nate, Billy Schweim, and I forget who else, they all had like the same 25% odds. And then what I do is that I always make sure that whoever won the lead the year before gets the final pick. So they get back-to-back picks every round. And then I always make sure that I get a pick like somewhere like smack dab in the middle so nobody thinks there's bias from the commissioner giving himself a good pick.
Well, that's also what he said too, right? He said, because I read that too, and I actually did like that system. I think he said depending whether it's a 10 or a 12-man league, commissioner gets 5 or 6.
Right, and I always put myself people like 6, 7, just because like 6 or 7 depending on where I finished the year before, just so it's like, again, 6, 7. I know, yeah. Sorry,
I had to do it. It was right there. I had to do it. Sorry.
I hate you guys.
I think it's the dumbest thing of all time, but when it's sitting there like that, you can't pass it.
Yeah, it was too easy. 609-403-0973. Jeff from Summers Point chimes in. He says, I know the offense is shaky, but look at the stats. Look at the schedule. We had the hardest schedule in the league. To me, it's not rest. We got to prevent injuries. The Eagles will kick the Commander butt tomorrow without the starters. I expect a lot more running from Hurts in the playoffs. Go Birds. P.S. Josh, I still need my hat that I won, says Jeff from Summers Point. Well, Jeff, listen, you know how to get a hold of me, man. Like, I got the hat here at the 97.3 Studios. I can always bring it to you somewhere. That's up to you, buddy. It's up to you you want the hat, I'll get you the hat, okay? You won that hat. It's totally up to you to come get that hat, okay? It's all you, buddy.
I thought of this question during the break, and I was posing it to Josh, but he had to run out for a second. Is there a chance that during the Commanders and Raiders game, Sirianni had his input in the play calling and just the whole entire offensive scheme? Because it looks completely different. Hurts was running the ball. There was downfield throws. It wasn't just this basic run, pass. Then for this Buffalo game, Sirianni says, all right, look, it's looked good the past few games. Kevin, KP, my man, I'm going to pass it back off to you. Use what I used in those prior games, and then he just completely didn't do that.
I mean, if he did do that, then it goes to Haley's point, which is Sirianni's to blame then, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? If you're doing well with Sirianni, as Jalen Hurts said, being so involved for the Commanders and Raiders games, why should he not be involved moving forward? I think, Haley, you brought up the point before, which is like he's got to step up. He's got to be the guy to be like, look, guys, I'm involved now. You don't just, tell the junior driver you're okay to drive without me all of a sudden after you were doing so well with me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Alex, I do hear what you're saying in that question because it does make sense because the offense did look different, but we're never going to get the truth. Sirianni's going to always cover for his guys, so
right.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but at the end of the day, I believe in my heart, if this Eagles team wants to get back to the Super Bowl, it's going to have to be Nick Sirianni making the calls for the offense in the playoffs. There's no ands, ifs, or ups about it. Now, if you want KP to call tomorrow's game, you know what? Go for it. Get your last hurrah in. No one's going to care what happens. I saw so many Commanders fans today here in Philly, actually, all by Angelo's. So for them, maybe it matters. I don't know. For me, it doesn't. So KP, go crazy. Sirianni, if there's one thing that he can do correct, it's make the calls in the playoffs.
Were they taking over the one hotel that they took over last year? For the
the Hard Rock? You already know.
Yeah,
no. So I'll tell you a funny thing really fast. So I was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, and there was a bunch of Commanders fans because, again, the Commanders had a really good shot of going to New Orleans, which is so crazy how much has changed in the year. Anyways, there is a Hard Rock casino in New Orleans in the French Quarter, and there were Commanders fans, I kid you not, heading into there during the Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. And I'm thinking to myself, these morons, they know that every single Eagles fan is going to make fun of them if they see a Commanders fan walking into the Hard Rock. I took pictures in front of the Hard Rock in my Eagles jersey. The Hard Rock here in Philly, I didn't know it existed. I pass by it all the time now, and I'm like, whoa, Commanders headquarters. So I hope they take it over again. It's great for the business. It's great for the staff. But most importantly, stay out of my neighborhood. They're always in my neighborhood.
It just gave me vibes of the Padres fans that were making that song back in 22.
That was one of the best songs, though.
Yellow and brown, that's what's in. Josh, you look like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Nope.
You have no idea what that video
that
is.
song?
That's one of the most viral videos when the Padres Phillies. When we go to break, I'm going to show you this video.
Wait, is that the one with the old Padres guy in it?
I mean, it is an old.
There's like
That's
four.
What's in. That's what's in. Harper's going to lose, and Manny's going to cruise.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. You've never heard of this?
I probably have, but I probably erased it from my mind just because the Phillies actually are the team that makes me the most angry in this city.
Phillies.
But you know how bad it's got to be now?
By the way, another free agent signed today who the Phillies
not with the Phillies.
He's not with the Phillies. Japanese third baseman Kazuma Okamoto has signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. Like the Phillies couldn't have gotten that guy and then traded Alec Boehm somewhere.
It's because there's no Japanese players in our pipeline.
I don't care.
So they're not going to
I don't care.
Well, they're going to say,
I want you to go out and try to win a championship.
No, I am saying I want these players to come to Philly, but they have no incentive to. They're like, they know,
happen.
Yeah, they have nobody in the system, no one that can speak their language.
Then trade for somebody.
Hire a
Yeah.
translator.
Is Kaz Matsui still playing somewhere? I don't know. Maybe go find him.
Bregman's still on the board.
I would love Bregman.
But bring it back to the Eagles. You know how bad it is now that Nick Sirianni got stripped of his play calling privileges.
No, he didn't get stripped. He relinquished
because of how
them.
bad it was.
He was, right,
And
in
now
2021.
we're clamoring for him to get the ability to call plays here.
But this is the problem with Sirianni. And, Haley, I don't know if you've heard me give this opinion before, so you can react to it here. I think Alex has heard me give this out. So it's like, I think part of the problem is Sirianni's ego. He has never brought in a veteran coach on the offensive side of the ball except one time. That was Kellen Moore, who brought Doug Nussmeier with him. This is a man who's worked for Todd Haley, Mike McCoy, Frank Reich. He's worked with all kinds of veteran coaches over the years. He has never once called any of those guys and been like, hey guys, come in, be a part of what I'm doing. Like, we've never brought in, like, Fangio was here in 2022 helping a team. We've brought in veteran guys. I know Matt Patricia was a disaster, but they still brought in veteran guys on the defensive side of the ball. They've never done it offensively. I blame Sirianni's ego for that. I think his ego is so sensitive. He doesn't want to have a man coming in and telling him your offense is whacked, which is hilarious because Nick Foles said multiple times on his podcast that Nick Sirianni's offense is Frank Reich's offense. So you would think maybe I should bring in somebody, I don't know, like Frank Reich to just come in and like look at the tape with me for a week, do a Zoom call. It's like Sirianni is so afraid, he's so sensitive to be told that, like, hey, Nick, maybe you're doing it wrong.
Is KP out of a job regardless of what happens?
That's tough. Because the fact that the players like KP,
I don't know if they do anymore. I really don't know if these
Brown likes KP?
Yeah, I don't know if these offensive guys.
AJ Brown doesn't like himself. I don't care what his opinion is.
I
But,
like AJ Brown.
I think everybody's just sick and tired of every game, post-game press conference questions, covering for KP, running these same boring routes, Saquon getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
But how do you explain giving Jalen Hurts his 11th different offensive coordinator?
That's my only counter argument. I would feel so bad for Jalen just being like, all right, here we go again. But what the Eagles need to do is they need to find a Vic Fangio on the offensive.
That's what I'm saying.
A guy who's tried at head coaching, maybe like a Brian Dable, who, all right, we realize maybe head coaching is not the thing for you, but coordinating is.
Dable.
Like,
I wouldn't mind bringing back Frank Reich. Just bring back Frank.
I don't mind.
You know, Frank's like almost 70 years old at this point. Just let him come in here. I mean, listen, he hit the over on Stanford's over-under this year. That team was supposed to be trash. This is a Frank Reich guy with a different quarterback every year in Indianapolis. You wonder why he wasn't more successful. He went from Andrew Luck to Jacoby Brissett to Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz, and then who was the next one? I forget off the top. Was it Gardner Minshew was the last one? I forget off the top of my head. But like the point is that he had a different guy every single year, and he still was like moderately successful. So it's like, this is the guy who helped you win a championship in Philadelphia. You supposedly Sirianni's Frank Reich's offense. Just bring Frank in. Let Frank just run the show.
Is it bad that when Josh, you proposed the question about Sirianni's ego, and I wanted to react to that really quickly?
Go ahead, yeah.
I don't think it's his ego. I think it's his lack of ability to take coaching from others. And let me explain. Ego's different. Ego is saying I'm better than everybody else. Sirianni, it might just be lack of experience in this position, which sometimes shows. It could also be a lack of ability to take coaching from others. And that's different than ego, because that means that in his mind, the system that he has, it's great and it's worked. So why would he then take that from anybody else? And maybe some might say, Haley, that sounds a lot like ego, but I just feel like ego is such like a negative way to put. I just feel like it's too negative. Listen, I used to dislike Sirianni. I did back in the day. And now I have nothing but respect for him. So, man, that's my guy. I don't think it's his ego. I think that I just think that maybe it's a flaw that he has, but I hate to say ego.
She's Haley Taylor Simon. I'm Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We'll get more into this conversation coming up on the other side. Check back in on the text board at 609-403-0973. Plus, we do got to get some Sixers and Flyers talk coming up here on the show. Of course, Haley covers the Flyers as a reporter, and Alex is a big hockey guy himself. Also, don't forget Keith Pompey. We'll talk Sixers with him coming up at 2:25 today. All that and more. So to come, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles finish the 2025 regular season tomorrow afternoon, hosting their NFC East rivals, the Washington Commanders.
Johnson takes the snap. He's looking. He fires the football, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the team.
Pre-game coverage starts at 3 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 4:25. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
The Wildwood Fishing and Boating Expo is back at the Wildwoods Convention Center January 9th through the 11th. Check out 80,000 square feet of boats, tackle, gear, and accessories with 12 boat dealers and 100 vendors all under one roof. Free parking, free seminars, and free face painting for kids. Plus, they're giving away a free Yeti 65 cooler every day. Tickets are just $12 for adults, $5 for kids 6 to 13, and kids 5 and under are free. Visit fishingexpowildwood.com, the biggest little expo in New Jersey.
Celebrating family fun since 1955, Storybook Land in Egg Harbor Township is more than just rides, it's an atmosphere. They bring classic childhood stories to life with creative displays throughout the park. Have fun at your own pace and enjoy all you can see and do in this fully shaded theme park. Get your tickets and check out their upcoming special events at StorybookLand.com.
Create your own story at Storybookland.
Bring the whole family and create your own story at Storybookland.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Go to get your game on at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Cheers your favorite drinks while cheering on your favorite team. Go for the sports scene and go for the endless screens. Go where fans become fanatics at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. Must be 21 or older to wager or consume alcohol. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City. A community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back. I want David Putnam.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I want all my picks back, and I want David Putnam just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN, finishing up the first hour. Don't forget about Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism coming up Valentine's Day weekend. Yes, Saturday, February 14th on the boardwalk in Sea Isle City. Register now at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com because any day you can do something for children with disabilities. It is a good day. They had a record turnout last year. We want to make it even bigger and better than last year. Again, Saturday, February 14th on the boardwalk in Sea Isle City. Register now at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com for the Mike Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism. All right, let's get back to it here. Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We'll re-engage the other teams coming up on the other side. But I want to get Alex and Haley's reactions to this text coming in from George in Galloway. He says, Colleen Wolfe was on a podcast recently. And he says, she says the reason why there's so few plays being called or installed in the game plan each week is Jalen Hurts is the one who prefers it that way. Whenever they try to do more or make it less predictable, he gets confused, like it's information overload, says George in Galloway. Now, I will say this before I let Haley and then Alex chime in. I'm not saying Colleen Wolfe is wrong. But I will say is that from Jalen's background, he had a lot of success with Shane Steichen and a lot of success with Lincoln Riley. And both of those offense required him to process a lot of information. Earlier this year, A.J. Brown said that Jalen gets a bad rap because he's asked to process too much at times. So I don't know if it's fair to blame Jalen for some of that because if Shane Steichen and Lincoln Riley were able to overload Jalen, those two guys, and get the most out of him, I don't think it's fair, Haley, to say that Jalen can't handle it.
Yeah, that to me is what I'm kind of questioning right now is what is the narrative that they're trying to put on Jalen right now? I think that's a tough one. I think Jalen can handle it, but I think it's how he's being taught the information. I think that's the big takeaway that I have. Now, I'm not in the Eagles locker room. I don't know what goes on during these meetings, but what I can say is that we've seen Jalen find a lot of success with Shane Steichen, who I miss so much, by the way. But I don't want to go on a whole rant about that. But what I will say, though, again, this does come down to, in my opinion, KP and not Jalen. Because, I mean, how was Kellen Moore. I was about to say Kevin Patullo, and then I was like, oh, no.
Kellen Moore has had success with Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah. But how is KP teaching Jalen? You can tell that I am wanting literally any other coordinator of the pass back rather than having Kevin Patullo.
Alex?
Yeah, my mind immediately went to how successful he was in Lincoln Riley's offense that has a bunch of moving parts to it, and he took them to the semifinals. Granted, they lost to LSU, but they were one of the greatest college teams of all time.
He was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy with Lincoln Riley. He was the runner-up for the NFL MVP with Shane Steichen. I think some of this has to do with coaching, and I think that, no offense to Colleen Wolfe, I've never met her in person. I've heard she's a very nice lady. I think in this case, her narrative, as to use Haley's word, is a little incorrect, shall we call it. We'll talk more Eagles on the other side. Keep a text coming in at 609-403-0973. Plus, we got to get some Flyers and Sixers talk coming up in the next hour. Don't forget Keith Pompey of the Philadelphia Inquirer will join us coming up at 2:25 today. Hanging with Hennig, Hour 3, coming up next on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Flyers Oilers later today on Rock 104.1 and the Rock 104.1 mobile app. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork bring you all the exciting play-by-play action.
Hennig, he's got Zegras going to the net. Zegras shoots. He scores! Trevor Zegras buries his 14th of the year.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey later today. Coverage begins at 3:30 on South Jersey's classic rock station.
Oh, a save again by Vladar.
Rock 104.1 and the Rock 104.1 mobile app.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Gail?
When I retired, I just let all my taxes pile up. I had gotten many threatening letters. The one that said they were going to try and take my property was probably the scariest. When I found out that I owed close to $300,000, I was in total shock. It was a bad situation. I didn't know what to do.
Then Gail found tax relief advocates.
When TRA told me I was only going to owe $368, I just was in total disbelief.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Gail did and call TRA for a consultation.
I was so blessed with TRA.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-581-5329. 800-581-5329. That's 800-581-5329.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's. Bring your party to Chicky and Pete's. We can handle groups of all sizes at our locations across the Delaware Valley. Big parties, small parties, company parties, family parties, get-togethers with friends. ChickyandPete's.com for details. Chicky and Pete's is a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 3 of Hanging with Hennig, the first Hanging with Hennig of 2026. 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City. Streaming live on YouTube and X, the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Joining me in studio is Alex Berardis. Joining me remotely is Haley Taylor Simon. The whole gang is here for Hanging with Hennig on 97.3. Coming up in about 25 minutes from now, we will be joined by Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer. We got messages still to get to on the text board at 609-403-0973. Messages on YouTube as well. We will tap into that as well throughout the hour. But because we're going to talk Sixers this hour, we got to hit on the Flyers first. Of course, Haley Taylor Simon covers the Flyers full-time as a reporter. Alex Berardis, he is one of the hockey heads here at 97.3 along with myself. And, of course, don't forget for Flyers coverage as well, Kevin Durso at 97.3 ESPN.com. So I want to hit on the Flyers for a moment, and not just because Alex and I were talking about the Stadium Series and the Winter Classic off the air here, but, you know, Haley, I made the comment last week, and I want to rope you into this conversation. I think of the three teams that are not the Eagles, like you're taking the Eagles out of the conversation, of the three teams, the Phillies, the Flyers, and the Sixers, I think the Flyers have the best future. because I think that the Sixers are so tied up with these horrible contracts and these aging stars. And because of the fact that the Flyers are going to have money coming off the cap in the next couple of years, and because of the fact that I just don't think the Phillies are building their roster properly, I think the Flyers have a chance to kind of turn into what we saw the Flyers, in my younger years, which was the mid-'90s, when they became this perennial contender because they basically had that nice mix of veterans and young players. And I think I believe in Danny Briere and Keith Jones. I believe in what Rick Tockett's doing. I think that Zegras and Vladar were very underrated acquisitions, and I believe that they're going to be able to find a way to maybe get some better defensemen, build up this roster, and turn into a team that we all can get excited about. Because for me right now, I look at the Phillies and I'm like, this team is so frustrating to me. And the Sixers, I mean, it's cool they're winning games right now, but until they get out of the second round, I'm not going to believe anything that they do. So, Haley, you're covering the team for the Flyers every day. Do you believe, like I do, that the future is brightest for the team in orange and black?
That's an interesting question. Definitely more so than the Sixers. For the Phillies and Eagles, what I will say is that they still have a lot of talent, so I don't want to throw that away or diminish that. But, I mean, what the Flyers are doing right now is something that I did not expect to see from them, and neither did a lot of the reporters that sit besides me. They have 47 points, but most importantly, right now, if the playoffs began today, they would be the third seed in the Metro, which is something that's so unbelievable. And kind of just going off of what we've seen so far in this first chunk of the season, I do think the Flyers have a bright future, and I hate to be this Debbie Downer. Maybe I'm a little bit too negative, but it's still the goaltending that makes me a little bit apprehensive when it comes to the future of the Flyers. And I know that Dan Vladar, I mean, he has been playing some great hockey in between the pipes, but he came onto your team as the backup. He has now overtaken that starting goalie position. And Sam Emerson, I think that, listen, I hate that he got put in the position that he got put in, because in no way was he ever going to be a starting goalie. But I do think that the Flyers still need to find their franchise goalie, and I don't think that's Dan Vladar, to be honest with you. But when it comes to the defense, it's been better. But at the same time, like Travis Sanheim, when he's on the power play, why he doesn't do anything. Jamie Drysdale, I still want to see more out of. Like, I could critique this team to no end. But then there's guys like a Trevor Zegras who's been phenomenal. Tippett's been playing a lot better. I know right now Tyson's hurt and out, but that's another guy that I always have to give credit to. So, and Michkov, I mean, he's finding his way. But again, with Tockett's coaching style, it doesn't really add up to how Michkov plays. I guess the future is bright. The way that I see it, though, it's hard for me to, I feel like, think more positively when every single day the way that I'm analyzing this team is what they need to improve on. But yeah, I mean, it's a brighter future than years past.
I will push back on one thing. While I do agree that Vladar is not a franchise goaltender, I think the bigger problem is, and frankly it has been for basically 20 years now, is the depth at defensemen. You just mentioned about the Sanheim and Drysdale issue. The fact that, listen, Sanheim, Drysdale, and Cam York would be great if they were paired with stronger guys next to them, not with them being the top guys. And I think that would also help, because I don't know about you guys, Alex, you could jump in here in a minute, but like, I feel like the defensive rotations sometimes make me want to punch like a wall. Like, these guys are defensemen and they're like concrete sometimes, the way they're skating defensively in the zone. And it's like, well, no wonder some of these goals get scored or some of these shots get on net, because you guys aren't rotating defensively. So it's like, to me, I would love to see them get like that. That's why, obviously Quinn Hughes was like the pie in the sky, but like, I would love to see them get like a real legitimate number one. I mean, they really haven't had like a consistent number one since Eric Desjardins. I know Chris Pronger was here at one point, but no offense to Pronger, but he was past his prime when they got him in here. So to me, I look at the issue as you need to get better defensemen in here, but that also means you got to shed some of these contracts, Alex.
So I am actually not as high on this Flyers future as I think a lot of people are. I agree with many of the moves Danny Briere's made. I am not saying he has made bad moves. I am here for Danny. I think he's going to lead the team in the right direction. The only problem I've always had with him is his drafting. His drafting, other than, Matvei Michkov, Porter Martone right now, who's lighting it up in college and in the World Junior Championships, got 7 points in 5 games in the tournament. Those are the obvious picks, though. Those are the guys, you draft him, lock, stud guy. Now, you mentioned the Flyers' rotation, like how their defensemen move and how they play along the blue line. A guy that was there that could have not fixed this, but could have been a huge piece to all of this was a guy like Zeev Boyum, who we could have acquired via the draft. But no, we went with a young, undersized, two-way center in Jet Luchenko, who is a 3C, maybe second center at best. I'm getting a lot of vibes from this team that this rebuild didn't either go long enough, because let's think about it. 2 years ago, they overachieved with Tortorella and almost made the playoffs until they went on that 10-game skid the last 10 games of the season. So if you get a better draft pick there, this season, no one saw this coming. Everyone saw Flyers this year being a bottom 5 team, getting a top 5 draft pick and a pretty good draft class this year with some studs who are playing in the World Juniors right now. Danny, I think, in my opinion, has missed on a lot of these first-round picks. And when you look at our talent pool in Lehigh, in college, in the juniors that we have, there's not much there that I'm very impressed with. And I think there was opportunity there for Briere to set this team up long-term better than what he's actually done. Now, I'm not saying the trade deadline's coming up. Flyers going to be big buyers. I don't know. There's a free agent there, makes a big splash. I don't know. But right now, with the youth that we have, I'm not that impressed with it.
Haley, go ahead. I see you made a couple interesting faces while Alex is talking there.
Yeah, and again, opinions are opinions for a reason, because it's, no one's wrong with their opinion. But I do disagree, however, with some of the things that Alex did say, because in my opinion, again, we both have our own opinions, which is why we do sports talk radio. In this day in the NHL, okay, let's go think about this rebuild, okay? You started this rebuild. It is now 2026. You were still a team that hasn't been in the playoffs since bubble hockey. So it's been a long time. Yep. If you're a Flyers fan, you want to see your team be competitive again, okay? We have seen teams hit rock bottom, and they did the rebuild, and it took a long time. And yes, I'm talking about the San Jose Sharks, and now they're actually playing much better hockey. But again, it's the young talent that they have. I don't disagree with Alex that the young talent isn't good in the Flyers system, but what I do disagree with is this upcoming draft class. I do think there's a lot of talent, and I'm not denying that. But at the end of the day, are you just going to allow bad hockey on the ice so you can get good draft picks for players that may not even develop the way that you expect them to? Would you rather, hear me out, make some trades and acquire young talent through trades of players that are more developed? And I'm not talking about these older guys that are almost pushing 30, and that made me feel kind of bad about myself. But I am talking about these guys that are still young. Maybe they're playing in the AHL for some of these teams. I don't know. But why are we so focused and hyper fixated on the draft when, let's be honest, we can look at all the different drafts throughout the years? A lot of the guys that get drafted in the first round sometimes turn into big busts, and they don't even do anything. So unless you're getting the number 1 overall or number 2 overall, I just don't think that it should hold that much value compared to some of the other players in systems for other teams.
She's Haley Taylor-Simon. I'm Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Haley, you brought up something that was very interesting to me. I wanted to kind of hit on because you talked about, how the draft basically is kind of a crapshoot, right? And,
Yeah.
My thing is that is there a possibility that we're overlooking what's actually happening right now, which is World Juniors, with so many Flyers prospects playing in World Juniors? Is this maybe what the Flyers need, which is a showcase of the guys they have? And then maybe they can start shopping those guys in the trades that you mentioned. Maybe you can get some of these to-be free agents or maybe some of these young players who maybe need a new home by taking some of the guys who are in your system currently, who are being a little showcased, and maybe selling them while their value is highest, Haley.
That's not the way to go, in my opinion. I've been actually very happy with a lot of the players that the Flyers have drafted in recent years. I think when I'm saying younger, I'm talking like past that stage. I'm talking about players that maybe had a rookie season already. I'm talking about players that are more developed. And while it's great, World Juniors, it's been very entertaining and very good hockey. Again, why would you then get rid of players that you just acquired in the draft before you even give them a shot to play in your system? Like, to me, the issue comes down to what the Flyers aren't doing, and that's getting bigger names and getting better talent. I mean, the trade deadline is going to be big. I can tell you that. It's going to be one of the biggest trade deadlines we're ever going to see in recent history because there's going to be a lot of moves. I believe we're going to be saying goodbye to a lot of players that are serving no value, like probably like a Hathaway, to be honest. But this is a chance for the Flyers to actually do something big, and I have a feeling it's going to come defensively.
So I don't know how to feel about this upcoming deadline because I think there's a lot of teams that are just still in the mix. Like, there's not one team in the Eastern Conference right now that's below 500. So that's right now currently standing, though. So, in the next 7 months, don't know. But my fear with when you say, like, don't care about this upcoming draft coming up, it's like, you should, though, because if not, we just draft these 8 to 17 overall draft picks, which is what the Flyers have been for the past 15, 20 years. Just a mediocre team who keeps drafting the same caliber of player where you need to be bad to get these stud guys. Like, you need to tank to get the opportunity to draft these players. Now, like I said, I do think Danny's going to make some trade moves because I think that's what has to happen. You can't just all do it through the draft. But when you keep drafting in the middle teens, high single-digit numbers, you're getting the same type of players. And that was what the problem for the Flyers was for so long. It was just they have 10 of the exact same player, not one 100-point guy. Drew had 100 points 1 year in his career, and he was our captain. We need that standout stud guy, which we hope Michkov's going to eventually turn out to be. But you need more guys like that, and you get that through the draft, grooming them in your own system, and then watching them develop.
I will say this really quick if I could jump in, and that is, I will say that to your point, though, Alex, if they're drafting the right guys, it shouldn't matter where you are, right? Because you just mentioned, that range between 17 and 20. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't guys like Brett Burns and Alexander Frovolov, weren't those guys drafted in that range? You can get good guys later in the draft. They don't have to be top picks. So if you're doing your job drafting, Alex, doesn't that mean that no matter where you're drafting, you should be able to find good players if you're drafting the right ones?
You should be, but if you're drafting top 5 versus top 20, you have such a higher percentage of chances of hitting on your picks and getting such higher talent than you would in the 20s. Correct?
Go ahead, Allie.
All right. So I'm going to use this as an example because everybody knows who this guy is. Connor Bedard, right? Drafted first overall to the Blackhawks a few years back. I watch a lot of Central Division hockey, so I have a pretty good feel on these teams.
Right.
Are the Blackhawks a cup contending team this season? The answer is no, they're not. And my only thing is, okay, let's go say the Flyers are a bottom 5 team. There's still a rare chance that said player that you draft would be ready to play in the NHL the following season. It's very rare that we see that. So that's already a year out. Okay, they get into the league. They play for the Flyers their rookie season. This is year 2. Is the team automatically going to play better? Probably not. So then we're continuing this rebuild of insanity. And I think for a lot of Flyers fans, I think that there is a fine line, because I was totally for tanking last season. I was totally for that. However, I'm to the point now where it's like, how long are we going to expect players like a Travis Konechny to be okay with this? Right? Mm-hmm. How long are we going to expect some of the veteran players on this team to go along with what's going on? Now, I thought that Owen Tippett contract was a mistake. Maybe they can get rid of him, get rid of it, and free up some cap space. But I think the problem is that we put so much of our focus into the draft, and we're not focusing on other moves. Like Zach Benson was a player that I really wanted the Flyers to draft, and he went to the Sabres, obviously. Got a goal against a different team. Anyways, but yeah, went to the Sabres. Great player. He would have been such a game changer. And I feel like, again, he went later in the draft. He wasn't like the first 5. He was like 11th or 12th. Like he was somewhere a little bit later. So you can still get really good talent. But if the Flyers make it to the playoffs, my question, Alex, for you and Josh as well, would you be happy to see them in the playoffs? Because that is technically a step in the right direction when you think about this rebuild.
Yes, I'd be happy with them being in the playoffs because it shows that they're at least moving in the right direction. And when a team, hockey is different than a sport like football, where it's like football or baseball, you make the postseason, and because there's so few teams that make it, it's almost an excuse for you to stay the course and not retool certain positions. Whereas in hockey and basketball, if you make the playoffs, it's a sign at least you're trending in the right direction and you can still make more moves. By the way, Haley mentioned tanking. We got to get to the Sixers coming up next here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We're going to be joined by Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer coming up on the other side. Don't forget, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN is being brought to you by Prevail Nutrition. If you're tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day or doing all that prep early in the week, you need Prevail Nutrition. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition has been your local meal prep company located right here in South Jersey. And it's more than just they deliver to Atlantic and Cumberland counties as well as Ocean City. They are actually healthier for you and they taste great. I personally eat these meals each and every week. And instead of getting those big name companies that have tons of sodium and sugar in their foods, why not get a healthier option that is made right here by a small business in South Jersey? Be like me. Go to prevailnutrition.club to get your meals either delivered or pick up every Monday and Friday each week. That's prevailnutrition.club to get started. Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer joins us next. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis and Haley Taylor-Simon hanging out with you, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
This is the radio home for Philadelphia Eagles football. The Eagles finish the 2025 regular season tomorrow afternoon, hosting their NFC East rivals, the Washington Commanders.
Johnson takes the snap. He's looking. He fires the football, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by the team.
Pre-game coverage starts at 3 p.m. with Merrill Reese and Mike Quick calling all the action starting at 4:25. This is where the Eagles play. 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey's Eagles station.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Get ready to level up your game day at Tropicana Atlantic City. Introducing Gridiron Pit, powered by Caesars Sportsbook, a high-energy fan zone where blackjack meets big screens, bold bites, and big wins. Play your hand, catch every snap, indulge in tailgate-inspired food and drinks, and spin the big wheel of prizes. Every Saturday and Sunday throughout football season, Gridiron Pit, where the thrill of the game meets the rush of the table. Located near the cashier cage. Learn more at Caesars.com. Must be 21 or older. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City. A community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Gill from the Sports Bash. You know, I've been telling you about my friends over at the Nizam's Restaurant. Well, don't forget, their Eagles special is back. You get a free order of spicy tandoori chicken wings for dine-in customers when the Eagles win. They also have a great lunch buffet on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and has a great banquet space that can seat up to 100 people for private events and celebrations. So what are you waiting for? Try out the Nizam's in Harbor Square, Egg Harbor Township, right outside of Boscov's.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to 72% with queens from $89.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, Merrill Reese from Mike's Seafood Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism in Sea Isle City. Come join over 5,000 participants in the 5K race and the Family Fun Walk, followed by a great after party. The party is not just for the runners and walkers, it's for the entire family. They'll have clowns, superheroes, and face painters for the kids. For more information or to register, go to polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Any day you can do something for children with disabilities is a good day.
Mike's Seafood Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism, Saturday, February 14th on the Boardwalk in Sea Isle City.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Let's get into the Sixers now. And obviously, I say it a bit in jest because Haley Taylor-Simon mentioned the concept of tanking. But anytime you think about tanking, shamefully, you think about the Philadelphia 76ers, and the man who has covered it all from start to finish has been Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer. He joins us on the phone right now as the Sixers, they've actually started winning some games recently. So we'll ask Keith, who are the Sixers as we enter 2026 here on Hanging with Hennig? Pompey on Sixers is where you follow him on social media for all of his Sixers coverage with the Philadelphia Inquirer. Keith, welcome into the show. How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show.
I appreciate you jumping on. So that's kind of where I want to start with you, which is, who are the Sixers entering 2026? Because I feel like this team, I mean, between all the injuries and Embiid and George in and out of the lineup, and then, you know, so many guys not playing consistently together, it's been taking them a while to kind of find their chemistry. So are they starting to find it now, Keith, or do you think we still need some more time for these guys to really find who they are?
You know what? I think they're starting to find their energy and gelling and everything. But I actually think we'll get a really good idea of who the Sixers are tonight, right, against the Knicks at 7:30. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, the first two games of this road trip, the 76ers, looked horrible, right? They played poorly. And then the next two games, they played great. But you can look at it and say, these were the two easiest teams of this 5-game road trip. And then the Knicks are the second best team. They're behind Oklahoma City. So I feel like, if they can come out and try to do some of the things they did while, passing the ball and having staggering the lineups and playing great, quality defense, I feel like, then we'll say, okay, the Sixers are trending in the right way. But if they go back and the ball gets stagnant, then we're going to say, oh, man, that was fool's gold the last two games. And I don't mean to be harsh, but I feel like tonight's game is extremely pivotal in regards to giving us a good idea what this Sixers' identity is.
Keith, what's the update on Kelly Oubre, and how important is he to be able to give this team just more wing depth going down the stretch here?
So he's extremely important with that, but the thing in regards to the update, so Kelly is doing everything that they want him to do. The only thing that he has to do before he gets cleared to play now is participate on a 5-on-5 practice and see how that feels for him. And the hope was that he was going to play on this trip. But when I left Dallas yesterday or when, after the game on New Year's Day, and everybody was excited because they were spending the night in Dallas and yesterday was just a complete travel day, I had a feeling that it would be hard for, Kelly to play in this game because, you got to practice. You got to have a practice, and the fact that they didn't. But I do think that, he's trending in the right way. Now, again, it's one of those things where you want to see how he practices, and then from there you want to see how his body responds to that practice. So I think that after that happens, hopefully we can see him this week in these upcoming games. Now, in regards to what he brings, I mean, think about this. When you look at Kelly Oubre, he's a guy who moves well without the ball, but he also defends the opposing team's best perimeter player. So what that does is it frees up stuff for VJ Edgecombe, where he doesn't have to guard as tough an opponent. The same thing for Paul George. And then you feel like they won't get as attacked as much as they do, when guys penetrate and things like that. So he's really helpful with that. He's also a guy who can create his own shot. But like I said, the best thing is he moves well without the ball. So, we see a lot of offensive putback dunks and things of that category when he's on the floor.
Keith, it has been kind of a really odd season with Joel Embiid dealing with that knee management. What do you take away from him not being in all of these games? I know not the back-to-backs, but just right now with his knee, how concerned are you about it? And do you think that it's going to maybe turn for the better for him as the season continues on?
That's a great question. And I think that's the million-dollar question right now, right, when it comes down to the 76ers. The first thing, as far as being concerned, I'm extremely concerned. And the reason why I'm extremely concerned is because, think about it. When you watch a Sixers game and you're there, and every time Joel falls down, everybody like, even if you like a Sixers fan or not, or you're a media member, it's like, oh, okay, do I got to get to work, or do I like the media members? Do I get to work and write about this? Or fans are like, oh, is our season going up in smoke? So the opposing team, like, okay, what do we have to readjust the game plan? Like, you know what I mean? It's so much that's going on, so that's what makes it concerning. And I feel like this is going to be who Joel Embiid is. Like, there's always going to be one of those things where moving forward, he's going to miss a bunch of games. There's going to be some knee swelling, and like he'll play 4 or 5 games, and then all of a sudden he's going to shut down. But the one thing that I'm optimistic about is the fact that, if he plays the night, he's listed as probable. He's going to play in 3 consecutive games. And the thing about it is, beforehand, we know he doesn't play on back-to-back, but beforehand, if they didn't have at least 2 days rest in between games, Joel wouldn't play. So we're just talking about it is he played on Tuesday, he played on Thursday, and now it appears that he's going to play on Saturday. So that's only 1 day of rest in between. So that to me is a great sign, right? But in regards to the concern, that's not going to go away. Every time he falls to the ground, people are going to be nervous and shaky over Joel.
Keith Pompey joining us for the Philadelphia Inquirer here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, at Pompey on Sixers on both X and Instagram. Keith, speaking of guys who have been in and out of the lineup dealing with injuries, obviously the other big name in the conversation is Paul George. I feel like his game has probably evolved a little better in his return from his injury than Joel's has. What is your take on what Paul George can do for this team moving forward? Because now we're really getting into the heart of the season, and we're also only several weeks away from the NBA trade deadline. So what is Paul George bringing to the team, and what more do you think they can get from him here in January?
Here's the thing about PG. So, right now when we look at Paul George, he's a guy that, is he still the same player he was several years ago? No. But at the same time, I feel like Paul George can excel as a point forward, right? And what I mean by that is the reason why I think he can excel with this team is because we look at Tyrese Maxey being ranked third in the league in scoring at 30.9 points. We look at VJ Edgecombe, who has shown an ability to be able to take over a quarter, an ability to hit a game-winning shot, so you can close with him, or you hope you can continue to close with him. So what that does is that takes the onus off of Paul George to say, hey, PG, we got you. You're making $50 million a year. You have to show us that you can close games, you can take over, you can do this. No. What his job is, make sure to get Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, quality shot attempts, right? And then there's certain times where we're going to need you to take the ball as well. Also, effort. We're going to need you to be on the defensive end and play with a lot of effort, get in passing lanes, be extremely disruptive. And, the one thing that people don't get to see on TV is that whenever there's a break in action, or someone's at the foul line, Paul George is always in VJ Edgecombe's ear, telling him what to do, everything like that. So, we talk about his being a facilitator, his being aggressive on the defensive end, and his leadership quality, because it will work here just because the Tyrese Maxey has continued to ascend, and VJ Edgecombe is much better than I gave him credit for being. So, I think that Paul can do less, but he can be the leader and do those other things I talked about.
With how wide open the Eastern Conference is, the $1 million question, which has been for years, if this Sixers team is healthy going into the playoffs, I'm not saying Embiid every night, just what he is now. Is this another second round exit team, or is this a team that could somehow go on a run here?
I think it also depends on who they get matched up on, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what it is. Now, here's the thing. This is the main question to determine. Now, if Joel Embiid says what if he does what he says he's going to do, where he's going to be less selfish, I guess, right? Like, if Joel Embiid, I feel like the last two games, the ball found him. But at the same time, he was a willing passer. He was doing all the little things to get teammates involved, and the ball ended up getting back in his hands. I do believe, but also Adem Bona has to be on the floor to protect them on the defensive end in certain spurts, right? I do think if the 76ers can do that, and Paul and Joel Embiid can get a little bit healthier, I do think they can be the team that no one wants to face in the first round, right? Like, I do think Detroit may be a bad matchup for them, just because of Detroit's physicality, and you look at Detroit's guards with Cade Cunningham and say, okay, he might be a little bit better than Maxey, or they're close by, that's a pick 'em, right? But I do think Detroit has some physical guys on their team. But outside of that, I do think that the 76ers could give teams a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it depends on the matchup. But if Joel comes down and then all of a sudden he wants to score like 40 points, and then you see VJ Edgecombe only with 8 points, they're going out in the second round, if not the first.
Keith, I'm going to wrap up with this question about Tyrese Maxey. He's played the team's high with 39 minutes per game in all 30 games. How important is it right now for Tyrese Maxey to just feel more comfortable on the court? I know that there was some speculation that, this might be Tyrese's team, but what's your take? Do you still see it as one day this could be Tyrese's team, or is it still Joel's team?
It's Tyrese's team right now, in my opinion. I mean, you look at it. I think when we look at this team and we look at the pieces that they have. They got a lot of quick guys, the guys who like to get up and go. So they're really sort of playing to the style that Tyrese plays, right? I look at it like what the Sixers did is, okay, we paid Joel this money. We paid Paul George this money. We're going to give this a try. But at the same time, we're not going to get stuck, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go out there and get guys who play that Tyrese Maxey style, because if it doesn't work out, we can pivot quickly. But, yeah, this is Maxey's team. He's the leader. Everyone knows it. It's funny, when you talk to Paul says, hey, man, I just want to do whatever I can to help number zero. I just want to do whatever I can to help number zero. Embiid knows it. He's still a good player, right? But right now he looks at it like I'm not healthy. So, or I'm trying to get back to being healthy. So when you say that, you have to say that this is Maxey's team right now.
For more coverage of the Sixers, check him out on X and Instagram at Pompey on Sixers. All of his coverage at Philly.com for the Philadelphia Inquirer. He is Keith Pompey, and he joined us right here on 97.3 ESPN. Keith, always appreciate you carving out some time for us here.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I enjoy talking the Sixers with all of y'all.
Keith Pompey always does a great job covering the 76ers at the Philly Inquirer. Josh Hennig, Alex Berardis, Haley Taylor-Simon hanging out with you here on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by Work of Art Construction. Find out how they can make your home look brand new. Do you need to remodel your bathroom, get a kitchen makeover? Maybe you just need a new front door installed, or got that back deck that looks old as anything, and want to beautify your home with Art Masker's 40 years of construction experience. If you call him at 609-788-4271, you can learn more about what they can do to make your home look like a work of art. Tell them you heard about them on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and receive 10% off your next job at your home. That's Work of Art Construction, 609-788-4271, and tell them you heard about them on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and save 10% off your next home project. Let them make your home truly look like a work of art. Art Masker and Work of Art Construction, sponsors of Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up on the other side, Josh Hennig, Haley Taylor-Simon, Alex Berardis. We will give you some predictions for this weekend in the NFL on Hanging with Hennig, and also your texts as we wrap up the third hour of the show on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
It's Sixers Knicks tonight on Rock 104.1 with the voice of the Sixers, Tom McGinnis, calling all the exciting play-by-play action.
Rises for three, it's in the air. Rimming no Embiid with a rebound. He puts it back up. It's good, and he's fouled. Joel Embiid is back. He puts it in.
It's Sixers basketball tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30.
Are you kidding me?
On South Jersey's classic rock station.
Oh, yeah.
Rock 104.1.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City, or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
Looking to lower your energy bills and boost home comfort? South Jersey Gas has you covered with a no-cost in-home, whole-home energy assessment. Our energy expert will review your home's energy efficiency and provide a personalized report of energy-saving improvements. Plus, you may also receive energy-efficient upgrades like faucet aerators, smart power strips, and LED light bulbs at no cost to you. Don't wait to save money and energy. Schedule your whole-home energy assessment today at sjgsaveenergy.com or call 201-690-7897 today.
Something good to know from First Bank of Sea Isle City. We have all of today's innovative banking products just like the big banks, but we offer something they can't. A personal community focus. Let's get you started with Bill Pay. You save time when you pay your bills online. It's fast, easy, and convenient. First Bank of Sea Isle City. A community bank that delivers more for you every day. Personal service, today's technology, from the people who truly care. Learn more at firstbankseaisle.com.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to 72% with queens from $89.99. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Sal Vulcano, Everything's Fine Tour. One hilarious night of brand new stand-up material from Sal Vulcano.
Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth about Thunder. Did you tell me it's God bowling? I took that information to school. I got my ass handed to me.
Sal Vulcano live. Saturday, February 28th, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort. From Impractical Jokers and the Hey Babe and Taste Buds podcast. It's Sal Vulcano. On sale now at theoceanac.com.
At Straight Talk, we get it. You say no a lot.
Mom, can I get a tarantula? No. Coffee?
No. So we're giving you more reasons to say yes, like a free 5G phone with real unlimited data with select plan activation.
Can I use the free phone?
Yes. See? Doesn't it feel good to say yes to more?
Absolutely. Face tattoo? Absolutely not.
Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. In-store activation of Gold Unlimited plan or higher required. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's, the official sports bar of your world champion Philadelphia Eagles. Go where the players go. Come join us all season for Eagles pep rallies, watch parties, and the best in-game experience anywhere. Ice-cold draft beer, world-famous food, and fan-friendly fun for every Eagles game. Every Monday night in South Philly, the Jordan Mailata Show, presented by Miller Lite, followed by Chicky and Pete's Players Lounge with a current player, hosted by Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X at Josh Hennig. Remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends. We are live in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Don't forget about the Mike's Seafood Run Walk for Autism. It's only next month. Yes, it is Saturday, February 14th. It is Valentine's Day weekend. You can register right now for the Polar Bear Run Walk for Autism right now at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Mike Seafood wants to remind you that any day you can do something for children with disabilities. It is a good day. And I mean, yes, it is named for autism, but Mike's Seafood uses a lot of that money for a lot of causes, more than just children with autism. It's also helping many other people in the community, including they helped fund the building of a new outpatient center over there at Shore Memorial Hospital in Summers Point. So Mike's Seafood does an amazing job every single year, and we're proud to be supporters of Mike's Seafood here on 97.3 ESPN. Again, register at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Mike's Seafood, Valentine's Day Run Walk for Autism. It is a 5K run or family mile walk, so no matter what mode you want to take, you can support children with disabilities. Again, register at polarbearrunwalkforautism.com. Josh Hennig along with Alex Berardis, Haley Taylor-Simon on 97.3 ESPN. Let's get to some predictions here, guys, because I think as we start 2026, we can kind of get into if we're right or wrong. It doesn't matter. We can just have a little fun with it. So let's start with the games that are happening this weekend. I'll start with Haley, then go to Alex. Who do you think wins the NFL games today? Of course, coming up on 97.3 ESPN, you have the Panthers versus Bucks, followed by the 49ers and Seahawks. Haley, who wins those two games tonight and why?
Yeah, so I think starting today at 4:30, we're going to have the Buccaneers defeating the Panthers. And then coming up tonight at 8, I actually think the Seahawks are going to defeat the 49ers, who are on home field. That's my takeaway from those two games.
Alex?
Couldn't be more opposite. I have the Panthers winning the 4:30 games. I've just not been impressed with the Buccaneers offense as of late. And, hey, I think Bryce Young has like the most fourth quarter comeback wins in the
NFL this year.
Like,
yeah.
I'm a believer in Bryce Young.
You're a believer. Wow.
I said it in the break. I think if they get into the playoffs, I don't know how you don't put Dave Canales in the Coach of the Year conversation. He's taking this team. People are writing off Bryce Young. And now if they win tonight, they're in. I don't know how you don't put him in the conversation. And then tonight, I'm going with the 49ers. Don't have Trent Williams. But, again, I'm not a believer in Sam Darnold. I'm a believer in Bryce Young. But in a big game situation, he's been in this exact same game before. Win, get the division. Win, get the number 1 seed. And what happened that last year? He crumbled. That's exactly what's going to happen tonight. I think the 49ers win tonight.
So I'm like half and half here. I'm surprised where you both kind of went there because I'm with you on the Carolina thing. I just think Tampa's falling apart. I feel like you got the head coach dropping F-bombs in post-game press conferences. You have Baker Mayfield and his messed up left shoulder that he's going to need surgery on. I was laughing last night because listening to the Green Light Pod, and Chris Long went this diatribe about like how Baker Mayfield needs to get surgery on like his whole body this offseason because he's so injured. But I think the 49ers win tonight. I really do. I think being at home, it's a big deal. I think that the 49ers at home is the key to me. If this was in Seattle, I would be way more inclined. Remember, Seattle beat the Rams because it was in Seattle. That overtime thing really helped them. So that's kind of where I'm going. Haley, let's go back to you. Eagles, Commanders. It's the backups versus the incentives. Deebo Samuel, Von Miller, they have incentives they want to hit tomorrow, so they're going to play the starters for Washington, but it is still Josh Johnson. Meanwhile, the Eagles will basically be calling us potentially to play wide receiver. So, Haley, who wins the Eagles game tomorrow? By the way, if I should mention, Ross Tucker, I believe, will be the color guy on the call for CBS tomorrow for the Eagles game. Ross Tucker, who calls the Eagles preseason games with Scott Graham. Haley, go ahead.
I think it's going to be the Eagles, as ridiculous as that might sound, not having in the starters. You know what I have to say? And like you might not agree with me, but for the Commanders, what are they playing for? For the Eagles, I mean, these are guys that are getting their opportunity to take the field, to get the start, and they haven't obviously been able to do that all season, some of the guys. So I feel like for them, it means a little bit more than the Commanders right now.
I am also going with the Eagles. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. Is it like a bad play on my part to say I really hope Tanner McKee doesn't have a great day tomorrow?
No, I'm the same boat.
Because you heard it on, if you were listening before our show, The Locker Room with Billy Schwein. He was saying, oh, the media down here, everyone's going to start. He's the media. He's that guy. Billy is that guy.
Billy's an agitator. That's what he is.
And I know. Good friend, PJ Corda, he's going to be blowing up the group chat. First drive that it's going to be a 70-yard drive, ends in a field goal, not even going to end in the touchdown or whatever. And then PJ's going to be like, oh, look at Tanner. Oh, relax, everybody. Tanner, it's going to be a bad game tomorrow. I'll even get 14-10. I'm going to give you. Like, it's going to be a low-scoring affair. Josh Johnson over there in Washington is not going to do much. It's going to be a really bad game to watch, I think.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
So I have a similar prediction for the game tomorrow as both of you, but in a little different vein, because I do think the incentives are going to matter, because the Washington is playing their starters tomorrow. They want to get Debo that extra money on his contract, because the owner of the Commanders isn't like the owner of the Eagles and just pays the incentives anyway. That's what the Eagles do. Josh Harris doesn't do that. But anyway, I think it's going to be 14-14 at halftime. I think then Washington is going to kind of pull their foot off the gas pedal. The Eagles are going to run Tank Bigsby to the moon and back for 150 rushing yards. And the Eagles end up winning the game 24-14. And Tanner throws an interception in the second half. That's my prediction for the game tomorrow. Haley, your 2026 best prediction for Philadelphia sports is?
Real on the spot there. Jeez.
Like out of.
You want me to go first so you two can think about it?
I need a second to think about this.
All right. Well, while Haley chews on getting that dropped on her head, I will go with this. So my prediction for 2026 is the Flyers make the postseason. That's my prediction. I think the Flyers make the playoffs this year, and they will acquire either somewhere in free agency, whether a trade or a signing, some big name. That's my prediction for 2026 because, frankly, I don't know about the Sixers or the Phillies at this point. The Phillies could surprise me and maybe acquire an Alex Bregman, and I would feel way different about this team. I feel like I have a better feel for the Flyers than the Sixers or the Phillies, and let's be realistic, I don't think the Eagles are making a run into the Super Bowl, but I am personally excited about the direction the Flyers are going in. Haley, did I give you enough time to chew on your thoughts there?
Yeah, so my prediction for the 2026 season is the Phillies leave me frustrated yet again. I know a lot of people, when they give predictions, they like to be positive. I'm very realistic. They're going to end up running it back. They're not going to do anything big. And they're going to end up frustrating this entire fan base. And if you believe that the Phillies are going to turn things around, then you're going to live in delusional land. That's all I have. Like, it's not really going to be a positive one, but.
Alex, go ahead.
I'm going to keep it with the Phillies. I actually think they at least make the NLCS. I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm not saying they're going to win the World Series.
That would be progress.
Yeah, I think they'll at least make the NLCS. I do think there's another move to be made. I've been very critical on here about how it is the exact same thing, but I think it's delusional for Dombrowski to just do it again. I think there has to be something else, whether it's a Bregman, whether it's Marte, something else has to be done.
Maybe trade for Adley Rutschman. Yeah, something's got to get done. I'm a little bit more hopeful. I think they at least make the NLCS. All right, that's Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Haley, we appreciate you jumping on remotely. Plug your socials for everybody one more time.
Follow me. I'm like demanding. Follow me on Twitter at Haley T.
Do
Simon,
it!
or Instagram at Haley T. Simon. And that's it.
Alex, your socials?
At Berardis Alex on Instagram and on X at Philly Licks.
And of course, I'm at Josh Hennig on X, and YouTube is where you can subscribe, like the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching on the YouTube stream. And thank you to everybody for listening on 97.3 ESPN. Thanks to Keith Pompey for joining the show, Andy McNamara, Haley for chiming in remotely, and Alex for joining me in the studio. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember, Flyers and Sixers on our sister station, Rock 104.1, and the Rock 104.1 mobile app, as we will have the NFL doubleheader coming up at 4 p.m., presented by First Bank of Sea Isle City on 97.3 ESPN.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. A big NFL Saturday doubleheader coming up. First, the Carolina Panthers are at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with the NFC South Division race coming down to the wire. Then, the NFC West title, along with the top NFC playoff seed, is at stake when the San Francisco 49ers host the Seattle Seahawks. Don't miss any of the action on the Saturday NFL doubleheader.
It's NFL Saturday on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 4 p.m.